So I apologize to everyone who tuned in the show this week thinking they would have a Destiny show. No.
This is about Destiny, so
It's about people welshing out on bets, actually.
Welcome to Free Titans and No Hunters, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts. The Triumph Hunting Titan, Nitedemon. The Pink-Panted Pansy, Peroty. Your law scribe from the tower, not Arf. And the former Hunter Master Rager, playing as a Titan for one season only. Mr. No One respawns in real life.
So welcome to the show. Yes, you heard it right at the top of the show. It is 3 Titans and no Hunters this week.
not true. They can actually see that I am, in fact, a hunter.
But you're not, though. You're a Titan.
Why is that?
Because apparently the bet was null and void.
Oh, okay. Who called the bet null and void then? Let me hear this little nugget of insight.
All right, you know what? Hey guys, let's go over the whole thing now that we have chats and we have viewers. Let's have a poll, okay?
No, we're not having a poll.
No.
That doesn't need to have a poll.
I can either mute you
Doesn't
and
need
I
to have
can
a
tell
poll.
them, or you can listen and I can tell them.
I'm listening. I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen
Okay,
to what you have to
so
say, but we're not having a poll.
Is this, okay? No, we're gonna have a poll because otherwise you won't shut up about it. So,
I'll do what I want.
we said, hey, the Titans won't be able to go invis without hunters.
Sorry, say that again.
Won't be able to go invis.
You said.
I did. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So Titans won't be able to go invis without hunter assistance. And then the raid was beaten, right? And turns out that they can do an execution to go invis if they have the right aspect and or fragment on, right?
Okay, so you're saying that we can go invis. Okay, then I won the bet. Fair enough.
No, you didn't. Because
So
Destiny 2 encompasses PvP and PvE. And last I checked, you can't do executions in PvP. Now, to be fair to Nitedemon, I did not realize it. And I had reserved to myself to being a Titan. And I, even in the chat, I'm like, it's only one season, I can deal with that. Until somebody else pops in the chat and says, but you didn't lose, but you didn't win either, because in PvP you can't execute. So right. You're both right and you're both wrong.
Who is this lawyer that has given you this bit of advice?
Does the name matter? The point is, well, I already told you in the chat, so go back and look. I gave you the name specifically. If you want to know that bad, you go back and look.
No, I thought the people might want to know.
Well, I don't want to put them on blast if we don't want to be on blast.
No, I want them on blast.
Well, then you put him on blast then.
Sounds like he's put himself on blast because you just said you can't do this without hunter assistance in the game. You never said in PvE, in PvP, or qualified. You just said you can't do it.
Exactly.
And you can do it.
Was never there. It's null and void. Neither one of us qualified it.
Respawn. That's not how a bet works, my friend.
Yeah.
Let me just explain something to you. Listen. Okay. You're not going to listen to me.
Say the bet is good for half the game, and then the bet is good, but the bet is bad for the other half of the game. Therefore, the bet is still good.
You never qualify. You just said
exactly.
Titans
we never qualified. That is the problem. It was never qualified.
Sir, the bet, you did not make the bet to say in PvE you can do this or PvP. You just said in the game.
In the game.
And in the game you can do so. Thus, if that statement
is in the game, is it not?
It is in the game. However,
well then you can't ignore that fact.
Well, right, but your bet was you cannot do this in the game. Period. Full stop.
That's correct.
Because I can do it in the game, you have lost the bet.
You can do it in half the game, so we can go with half a bet.
No,
that's not how that works, my friend.
Your bet was you cannot do this. Period. I can't do this. Thus, you've lost the bet.
You can't do it in half the game.
Respawn.
So therefore, you've lost half the bet.
That's not how any of this works.
I am sticking with this, and no matter how much I'll say, it's not going to change.
We know you are because you're not an honorable man, so it's fine.
If you leave it up to a poll, and I will let others decide for us what's the best way to go.
8 hours later.
You qualified that we couldn't go invisible without hunter assistance. we
In the
can go
game.
invisible without hunter
In the game,
assistance
like you said.
in the
Is
game.
PvP part of the game?
Right,
Yes,
but
it is.
you're
It's
missing.
a yes or no. No, I'm not
Yes.
missing the point. You guys are missing the point. Because your bet is only valid for half of the game. For the other half, it's not valid.
Sir, the
Okay.
qualification was in the game. Period.
No, the qualification
You
was in the game.
said prior to the raid being completed, we
Uh-huh.
could not go invisible without a hunter. That was impossible in Destiny 2. And you said that will be correct after the raid. That will still be the case. You will still need a hunter to go invisible. Was that not the bet you made?
Thing says I qualified the game as a whole.
Was that not the bet you made?
You didn't even say the game. You just said, I bet you can't go invisible with the aid of a hunter.
You just said in D2. You even admitted I just said in D2. You cannot go invis in D2. I qualified.
If you go back and listen.
You just said that. Guys, go back 30 seconds. You just said that.
4 to 6 days later.
Respawn. If you go back and listen to episode 160, at no point did you qualify that it had to be the whole of D2. You never said anything about PvP. You were stuck on the fact that I was telling people that Bungie had said that they wanted everybody to have access to everything, whereas you would specialize in being invisible,
Right.
without kind of having to do various different things. But I said to you, Titans and Warlocks will have the ability to go invisible. And you steadfast, you said to me, if I am wrong, I will main a Titan for the rest of the season. But if I am wrong, me, Nitedemon, and I took the bet, because you can go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I heard.
If I got it wrong, I would delete my Titan. Now, you were like, oh, yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. But it does, because I've played with that Titan for 7 years. I transferred that Titan from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. I've never deleted a character.
All right, Princess. I even told you I wouldn't actually make you delete your Titan. But the
Well,
point is...
No. But I would have, because if I'd have lost the bet, I wouldn't have welched it out on the bet and gone, you know what? It doesn't count because it's only half.
That matters. You just don't want it to matter.
What do you mean?
Sir.
It matters. The fact that you can't do it in half of the game matters. You're just ignoring that fact.
Okay, right. Let me ask you this question.
Oh, man.
Can I, as a Titan, go invisible without your aid as a hunter? Yes or no? Plain and simple. No, that's not what I've asked.
No.
Yes
answer
or no?
Answer the question.
It's a
you
yes
can
or
defend
no.
yourself after the fact.
If you were on trial in court, you can then shout at people and go, well, it has to be this
If I
answer.
was in trial
They
in
ask
court,
you a
then
specific
lawyer
question.
would say exactly what I'm saying.
No, they would say, it's a yes or no question, Mr. Hunter Master
That's
Rager.
not a yes or no question, though. That's not.
You're not allowed to
You're
give your
making
opinion.
it into a yes or no question. No, it's
Exactly.
not an
I'm
opinion.
asking you, can I go invisible as a Titan without
In
your
half of the
assistance?
game, yes.
This is akin to you making a bet in the Super Bowl that Team A is going to beat Team B.
Yeah,
And
but
if-
that is a yes or no.
and-
Did
and-
Team A win or
and-
did Team
no.
B lose?
Well, hold on. But then you're saying, well, they lost, but they lost by a field goal, so it doesn't count.
No, they lost.
This is basically what
that
you're
is a
saying.
Boolean question. They lost.
Well,
You're comparing apples to oranges.
Your Boolean question was
You're not
Titans
saying,
and Warlocks
hey, did they
will not
win
be able to go
defense,
invisible
but they
without hunter
lost
assistance.
offense? You know,
Right.
no, that's not
Well,
the same.
your bet was Boolean. Your bet was
No, my
Titans and
bet
Warlocks.
was
No,
in the
hush.
game.
Your bet was Titans and Warlocks will
the
not
game.
be able to go invisible without Warlock assistance.
In the game.
Or without hunter assistance.
And you can't in PvP.
But you can in PvE, so you've
But
lost
you
the
can't
bet.
in PvP. It is no. We both lost and both won, but y'all refuse to
That's
see
not
that.
how
Okay,
bets
okay,
work.
no.
That would
Peroty.
be called.
Peroty.
That would be called a
Peroty.
mistrial.
Let him explain how I have lost the bet where I can't go invisible without his assistance. Explain this to me. How have I no? How
Because
have
you
I
can't
lost the bet?
execute in PvP.
Right.
There's
But in
no other
PvP you
explanation.
Can in the game.
But you can't in half of the game. I tell you what, the first time they say
PvP is-
PvP
How have I
is not a
lost?
part of
PvP is a
Destiny,
third at best.
How have I
It's
lost?
half. What do you mean a third?
I took the
Even
bet.
Gambit is half PvP.
I took the bet to say that I would be able to go invisible without your assistance.
You're beating a
I
dead
can
horse, dude.
do
You
that.
can do it in half the game.
Well, there you go. I can do it.
in the other
Because you're-
half.
I haven't
Because you're
lost then.
backtracking like a.
I'm not backtracking. Even in the chat, I reserved myself to it until somebody else brought this up, and I was like, "You're right."
Yeah,
No, they're
because
not right.
I didn't
They're
come
not
up with
right.
this. Somebody
They're
else
not
did.
right. they obviously haven't listened to what you actually specifically said, because if we went to court and we took you word for what you said, you would not have any wiggle room. You are just going off of what one person said in the chat and going, well, you know, they can't do it in PvP.
Is it so?
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying it's not accurate. I'm not saying that it's not accurate.
Do 5 people need to say it for it to be true? You're doing it because only one person said it. Well, yeah, because they brought up a point I didn't realize. Therefore, it's true.
It's a point that you did not raise when you made the bet.
Yeah, Neither did you. Neither one of us qualified it.
You can't qualify a bet after the fact and say it applies to the bet you made previously. You can't change the
it after the fact. I said in the game, and for half of the game, you cannot.
Right, but you can't ignore the half that you can.
Right, but ignoring what I'm saying.
10 hours later.
What do you mean nobody specified it? You were the one that made the bet. You made the parameters.
Yeah, but
you told me if I lost, I deleted my Titan. Yeah. If you lost, you would main a Titan for the rest of the season. That was the only parameters of the bet.
Yeah,
you said take it or not, and I took it.
It's not
Nitedemon's fault that you didn't specify PvE versus PvP.
Nobody specified that. That's
and you
why
didn't need to, because that was not the term of the bet.
That is why it's a loophole. Nobody specified it.
It's not a loophole.
It is.
I mean, I know we're never getting anywhere because you're never ever going to admit that you lost this bet, even though
I did admit that I lost it early on, and then
immediately backtracked and said,
"I still admit that I lost half of it." And I even say, "Hey, we can come to some sort of compromise." But you guys refuse to do that. For you, it's all or nothing.
Just for a laugh, give me your compromise. What is the compromise? Go on, just tell me what your compromise is.
I don't have one. I was going to discuss it with you to see what would make it happen. Other people are saying we should both play Warlock.
Can I talk to somebody after the compromise and change the compromise?
Sure. Do whatever you want, especially since you weren't part of the bet, Peroty.
Well, no, because my punishment would have been to delete my Titan. So how do I half delete a Titan?
Okay, so first of all,
not that I'm going to.
I would not have made you do that.
Just like hack an arm off or something.
Yeah.
Several months later.
Can't stick to a bet.
I am sticking to it.
Friendly bets. Friendly bets. You've got your knickers in a twist. And that's it. You're like, ooh, I don't want to do it because so-and-so said I can't do it in PvP.
This is true. And I love how the fact that you ignored the fact that I was actually going to do it until he said that. I love how you just ignore that whole part. Like,
I'm picking you up on that now. I'm saying, why haven't you done it? You are not maining a Titan, although you should be maining a Titan.
Somebody pointed out you can't do it in PvP. Just ignore all that. That didn't happen, right? You're trying to make me look like a bad guy here. No,
you are a bad guy. If somebody else accept defeat, then and go and just play as a Titan for the rest of the season.
No. Because it's not defeat.
No.
Come up with a compromise with me. What do you want? Since we both won and lost.
I want you to go through with the bet. I'm not asking you to delete your Hunter, as cruel as it was that you asked me to delete my Titan. No, because I just accepted the terms and conditions of the bet that you laid down. I said I accept.
Give me a 50% compromise.
Why is it a 50% compromise?
Because we're both half wrong.
You can play Hunter, but you can't go invisible the rest of the season.
That's not even possible.
It is.
You passively go invis.
Okay, if other people turn you invisible, that's fine, but you cannot turn yourself invisible for the rest of the season.
You passively go invis.
On every subclass? With every loadout?
Pretty much.
Well, you're going to have to find the ones you don't.
Can't use Void 3.0. Okay.
Yeah, no more Void. Okay. No more Void for you.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
And really, I think we should take away Solar too. I think we should be stuck with Arc or
I think we should take away the whole subclass. Titan. That's it. That's the compromise.
So you're not even wanting to go with that. You're not even wanting to take away Void 3.0, and I can't use that the rest of the season. No. For you, it's all or nothing, despite the fact that the bet was not all or nothing. You're not happy with it.
Me deleting a Titan is all or nothing.
You weren't going to delete it unless you chose to. I've specified that many times.
So a bit like what you're doing now.
I would not have made you do that, dude.
I'm only saying go through with your bet. Yeah, what was the point of the whole bet? And going off on one and shouting at me, going, "Go on, if you're so confident, why don't you take me up on my bet?"
Make you
okay, then I'll take you up on the bet if you're going to be that cocky about it.
That was the point of the bet. I wasn't actually going to make you delete your Titan.
Oh, okay.
So
it's a pretend bet.
We were supposed to see the point of view of what?
Because you're always saying that hunters are OP and hunters are this, hunters are that.
Nobody said that.
No, we aren't.
3,000 whoos later.
So you're not going to budge on this. You're just going to be. That's it.
I
made a bet that I'm not going to go through with
you.
Once you find one that he likes.
No. Even
once he can feel good about his losing, he will make a compromise.
No, I've been giving you options to compromise. You're ignoring.
No, you're not giving me options to compromise. You're giving yourself options to compromise.
Yeah, no. This is all for you.
I'm not going to give you 100% when you didn't get 100%, dude.
It was, and at what point was it decided he didn't get 100% win? Was it before the bet was made, or after the bet was made? Once somebody influenced your thinking on the bet?
No, nobody influenced my thinking. People informed me there's more to the game than just PvE.
So you didn't know? You didn't know.
He did.
Honestly,
you were unaware. You were unaware of PvP up until at whatever point in the last 2 weeks that whoever said, "Hey, Respawn, there's PvP in the game."
By your logic, right?
No.
In the game, no.
Is this
by
true?
Your logic,
did you not know?
If I realized the PvP was a thing by your logic, then that means I included PvP in the bet. By that logic that you just said.
Right.
Right. So therefore, if I included PvP
so you've
as
included
part of the game,
right?
Then
so
you
that means
are helping my side.
No,
by
so
saying that it was a part of the bet.
So you've included PvP as the arena of places you could possibly go invisible without hunter assistance.
I mean,
and yes, you didn't say everywhere in the game. You didn't say you could go invisible without hunter assistance in every single activity available in Destiny.
No,
you said Titans cannot go invisible in the game without hunter assistance.
Yeah.
You didn't specify where. You didn't specify every single activity. You just said it cannot be done, period, full stop. The fact that it can be done means you lost.
No, it can't be done in half of, maybe a fourth of the game, a third of the game, whatever you want to compromise it as. It can't be done in all of the game.
I want to compromise it as you lost the bet because you didn't make any of this beforehand. It's only after the fact that you're backtracking.
I suggest you go back.
Find out what somebody else pointed out to me.
But I suggest you go back and actually listen to what you said.
I have listened to it, Demon.
Okay, well then
I've listened to it on my stream even. Well, not my stream, on my past recording.
Okay. Well, if you listen to it, you can clearly hear you say what the parameters were. I wasn't allowed to use an exotic. I wasn't allowed to use Rat King. It had to be aspects, fragments, even a grenade you threw in there. You threw a grenade in there for pure fun.
Yeah. And I said in the game.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's in the game.
Yes.
It's in the game.
And until PvP is not part of the game, that's included.
You did not say it has to be the whole game, Night Demon, including PvP. There is no way, Night Demon, you cannot go invisible in PvP without my assistance. There is no point. Did you say that? You said the game.
In the game.
I can go invisible in the game without your assistance. Thank you very much.
Not in the whole game, though.
You're looking at like the half of this that you're right and just discounting the half in which you're wrong.
I'm not discounting that part. The part that I'm wrong is why I'm willing to still give up something because I was partially wrong.
Give up playing a hunter, and then we'll all be happy.
That's the whole...
I'll be happy. You won't be happy. But that was the bet.
Yes, but you didn't win the whole bet. So as a compromise, I'm giving you a chance.
I won the bet.
You won a part of the bet. You won a segment of the bet. Part of that bet is valid.
No, I won the bet.
You didn't win the whole thing, though.
How do you not see that I won the whole thing?
Bro, I'm not even the only one that sees it. Other people have said the same. It's not just me.
They can also be making things up. Bets are all or nothing. That's why they're bets.
Yeah, but the bets are all or nothing as long as the parameters are set out appropriately.
You did set the parameters.
Yeah, the game, meaning the...
So we have sent Respawn a copy of what he said in the bet, and we're just waiting for Respawn's response.
will make a bet with you right now that you cannot go invis as a Titan or a Warlock without Hunter assistance. I will bet you your Titans, you delete them and you only play Hunters for next season, that you cannot go invis without a Hunter. If you're so confident,
what are we betting? What are we betting?
I'm betting. Look, if you can go invis without a Hunter, like you can throw your own invis grenade at your feet and go invis as a Titan, then I will win a Titan all season. If you can't go invis on your own without assistance of an exotic weapon or something, right? You don't have
no. You said we couldn't go invis. You're putting all these stipulations on it.
No.
You just said without Hunter assistance.
I'll take the without Hunter assistance or the exotic Rat King.
Yeah, no, you yourself have to be able to do it. Out the box.
As a Titan.
Just using your void fragments and aspects. No, I hear it. And in the bet, I say a lot of shit. I say you have to be able to throw something at your feet like a grenade, go invis.
The people already know because it's already been dropped in for them. They already know what's been said.
Well then, yeah. So it's like, if it's like that, then no, it's not a thing. But if it's just like in general, then yeah, it is a thing. I don't know. I was just when I was saying a lot of shit. No, even in this clip, like,
do we need to step through each one of them? Did you make like 8 claims? Do we need to see how many of the 8 you won versus Nitedemon won?
And you need to be able to do something like throw a grenade at your feet and go invis, and you have to do it using stasis fragments and yada yada yada, right? So by that aspect, no, you can't because it has to be an execution. But it's still from stasis fragments, so it's like I can't. Even in this clip, I've contradicted myself. I don't even anymore.
Done some really good work here today.
So what you heard there was a lot of dolphins because I think Respawn's
You
realised.
only heard one dolphin.
No, just now after the fact.
Yeah, the clip itself will have many dolphins.
Yeah,
dolphins.
We will leave.
Bears.
What we're going to do is we're going to leave Respawn here to ponder his thoughts, play it back a couple more times.
No, I heard it.
So we're going to tell you. We're going to tell you what's happening next week in Destiny because that's what you're here for today. So next week, the Primeval's here, and you can enjoy bonus Gambit ranks all week long. So those weeks that you've missed out on doing the challenges for Gambit, next week would be a perfect week to kind of just go and play some Gambit passively, get it done out the way, even though you probably have another 5 challenges to do in the next couple of weeks afterwards. But hey ho, you'll have another Gambit week. So there'll be bonus ranks for them as well.
And those double ranks are nothing to sleep on. Those double ranks have been nice.
No. So if you want to get, I think, is it your ornament that you need and the weapon, and go at it then, because even if you're losing, you can aid the AI Warmind Rasputin in the Fallen Saber Nightfall Strike, and Lord Shax brings Clash to the Crucible. And I'm not under the weather this week, Peroty, so please tell us what Clash is.
Oh, Clash, this is one you're going to need to get your notebooks out for, because see, what you're going to want to do is you're going to need some guns and some grenades and a subclass. And then you're going to go into PvP, and then you're going to shoot, punch, and throw grenades at the other team of 6 until one of you has done that more successfully than the other team, and then you win.
So do I not need to capture any zones in that one?
Nope. No zones, no balls to pick up. Nothing. Just go shoot that man in the face, and then shoot that man in the face over there too, and then punch that man, throw a knife at that man, and then shoot that other guy, and then you win. That's it.
Do I do what everybody else does in Iron Banner and Control, and just ignore the capture points and just go and shoot
exactly
people? This is that game mode. Yes. Okay. So there is a specific game mode for that.
There is the whole game mode just for not having a single other objective other than to shoot people. This is the.
But if I want to go and play Control and do the Clash objective, can I go and do that as well, or should I not be doing that?
I mean, you can. I'm going to guess maybe that there's a weekly challenge for playing Clash at some point in this season, because it seems like there's a weekly challenge for all of our rotators.
No objective. Now you're saying there's an objective. Is there an objective for Clash, or is it just shoot each other?
Well, the objective is to kill people. That is your objective.
Like, you don't need to pick up like a token or something. You've killed somebody to get a point.
Nope.
That's Call of Duty.
Okay.
Or Supremacy.
So you literally kill people and get points by killing people. There's no other objective.
Yes.
Nope. See, there you go.
How long have you played this game for?
I've never. Okay, again, PvP.
He's just now learning PvP as the game. Give him some time to catch.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
processing.
And speaking of some challenges, the challenge that was hidden from us in week 3, I've completely forgot to go back and look at it,
How
but
dare you, sir.
it involves you actually doing the raid. So they've actually put a challenge in there. You can go and look at it. It's week 3, and it's servered. Is it servered vow? Yeah, I guess it's servered. Servered vow. Complete each encounter in the vow of the disciple raid in Savathun's throne world. So you've got to do the acquisition encounter. You've got to do the collections encounter, the exhibition encounter, and the Dominion encounter, and you will get challenge XP plus.
So is that
Mhm.
the full raid at that point, or is that everything? Or is
It
it
is
everything
the
up to the
full
final
raid.
boss? Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's 4 encounters, so it's each encounter. But I guess you could probably go and do
We do
one a
them,
week if you felt like
or
it.
do them.
Yeah, do it as and
Join
when.
LFG groups wherever they are and just knock them out one by one if all else fails.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go into the LFG group and say yes, I've done this, and they just kind of hold back. Apart from one encounter where I know that you have to actually all participate, so you might have to watch a Fallout video. See the notes below. Phew, that was a lot of arguing. I've kind of condensed it down, so there's still a lot to listen to. So if you want to hear the full conversation, and let's be honest, why would you? But if you did, then you can catch it over on No One Respawns in Real Life's Twitch stream. And yeah, it's saved in the videos for the next few weeks. So if you listen to this after middle of April 2022, then it's gone. But you don't want to listen to it. But speaking of streams, this is where we ran into a few technical difficulties this week, and our recording actually broke down literally after the argument. So I've had to use the stream audio to actually continue the show. So 1, apologies for such a bad edit, and 2, I really do apologize. We had to cut the law out this week because it was just really too bad of an audio to save to actually put into the show. But don't worry, we will record the law and add it to an upcoming show, carrying on from where we left off the previous week. So sorry, not off, and thank you for sticking with it. And I do apologize again, but hopefully things will be better next week. Anyway, week 5 of our challenges, we have the legendary Psyoperative 1. Complete the Psyops Battlegrounds on the EDZ on Legend difficulty and access via the Helmet Director node. That will give you challenge XP plus and insight. Light Reclaimer 1. Defeat Light Hoarders in the Psyops Battlegrounds EDZ, specifically on the EDZ, and you get challenge XP plus and some more insight. Lots of insight. We're getting insight into stuff. It's good. Voice is Silenced. Complete the Vox Obscura Exotic Quest, and that will give you challenge XP plus. So I'm not sure if that would be retroactive, because I believe when we had the Presage mission, that wasn't retroactive. So even if you have done it, I guess you're going to have to get your ass in there this week and do it.
So you're saying waiting this long has paid off?
Exactly. Yeah. Dangerous Conduct. Acquire the Reckless Endangerment seasonal weapon, and that's challenge XP plus and some bright dust.
And that's
Into the Void.
one.
Into the Void. So guess what? You've got to go and play some Void. But you have to defeat Guardians. Bonus progress granted for defeating opponents with Void abilities. And that's 200 of those. And that would be challenge XP plus and some bright dust. Best in the worst. That's a challenge.
For what?
You know, your weekly challenges that give you a large pile of bright dust at the end.
Not until you just reminded me about them.
Whoops.
There are challenges.
You've got to do 5 hive bosses.
There are
5 scorn.
In addition to PvP in this game, there's also some weekly challenges you can do.
Yeah. And that'll give you challenge XP plus and some bright dust.
Where do you pick this up from?
It's in your quest tab.
Yeah.
They're just always there?
Okay. Someone show Respawn how Destiny works, please.
I just do these I pick up bounties, I do bounties, dude. I'm one step closer.
We're at the point where we're going to stop having you looking for ARF. We're going to start having you take your like campaign and introducing him to the other parts of this game, because apparently he doesn't know how half of it. There's all sorts of buttons and widgets and things that you can do, and you can get things for them, and it'll make your game better. And I'm sort of curious, like how you've been power leveling all through this for the raid and just like ignored all of the weekly challenge stuff that gives you more XP.
Because I just do all the I do the pinnacles and powerfuls. Thank you.
That's what maining a Titan will do for you. It just turns your brain to mush. Eat the crayons, turns your brain to mush.
I ate crayons in real life.
Shout out to anybody that's listening on the show or even in Respawn's chat. He's going to need some help getting his Titan through the campaign, especially on Legendary. Anyway, moving on to the Bright Dust and our Eververse for week 5. So, March 22nd, 2020. We have the weapon ornament. Molten.
No, it's not 2020. We got through 2020. You can't make me relive it.
It's 2022.
2022.
Okay. I thought we got stuck on a time loop again. Now I know it feels like March of 2020, but I swear time has moved on. People keep telling me it's different.
For silver, you can have the weapon ornament, the Molten, for the Dead Messenger, and that will be for 700 silver. You can have the Prometheus Ops ship, and that's your exotic ship, for 800 silver. The Bushwhacker shell, which is your exotic ghost shell, for 600 silver. Or the Courtyard Celebration, which is your legendary emote, for 500 silver. You do not need your Concentrated Matter Gem, or your Glimmer Shards, or your Scavenge of Boons. Do not waste your Bright Dust on that. But what you could waste your Bright Dust on next week is, well, maybe not this thing, the Canopus Try Me, which is your exotic Sparrow, for 2,500 Bright Dust. Acquired taste, I guess. The Constellation Tracker exotic ship for 2,000 Bright Dust. The Daito Capsule Entrance, which is your legendary transmat, for 450 Bright Dust. Another shader, which is the Lucid, for 300 Bright Dust. We have the Spring Shower exotic emote for 3,250 Bright Dust. The Ta-da! Bear emote for 400 Bright Dust. The Off-Road Shell, which is exotic Ghost Shell, for 2,850 Bright Dust. The Terran Sidecar, which is 2,500 Bright Dust. That's your exotic Sparrow. We then have the weapon ornament for the Galahorn. The Gunjanka. I'm going to go with that. 1,250 Bright Dust. The Stasis Projection for your Ghost for 1,500. And then finally we have some universal ornaments for each class. So we have the Abyss Walker Cloak for the Hunters. We have the Desolate Diver Mark for the Titans. And the Elect of the Empty Bond for the Warlocks. And they will all be 1,200 Bright Dust. And if you want to get those, go on each character and pick those up from the Eververse store. So these are the ones that have got like glowing purple bits that we've kind of talked about. And Hunters get a bow on the back, which is quite nice. Titans don't really get anything on their butt, Kate.
I thought you got a shield on your back.
Yeah, but that's because that's on our back. That's on our chest piece on the back. But you, because you've got your cloak, it's on the back of your cloak. I'd say you.
Well, no, it's just on the back.
Would have had that on the cloak.
It's not on the cloak. It's just on the back. Just like yours is on the back. What do the Warlocks have?
A glowy wristband, so they can go to the rave.
Did you just say clanker? Somebody's asking. You, demon.
Me?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
I do want to credit him for the pronunciation of the Galahorn ornament because he nailed it spot on.
Yeah. And I've got my stuff in order this week. I have gone ahead and I've double checked and rechecked and triple checked what the lost sectors are going to be for the next week. Hello. And it's official. The updated Lost Sectors Google's document has been going ever since day dot that we've been tracking the Legendary and the Masters, now been updated for this season. So I can officially tell you that I was right last week with what were the Lost Sectors. But continuing that, Monday, the 21st, we have the K1 Revelations on the Moon, giving you exotic arms. Tuesday will be the K1 Crew Quarters on the Moon, giving you chest pieces. Wednesday will be the K1 Logistics on the Moon, giving you helmets. And PV Shifty has guides, updated guides, from Monday to Wednesday for those. Then Thursday we have the Metamorphosis on the Throne World, giving you exotic legs, and Abiao's got a guide for you for that. Septulula on the Throne World will give you exotic arms, and I'm not changing that. That's PV shifty. The Extraction Throne World Lost Sector will give you a chess on Saturday, and that'll be Divides, giving you a guide for that. Sunday, the 27th, will be Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, giving exotic helmets. Legion Less has a guide for you for that. And then back around to Monday will be Exodus Gardens 2A on the Cosmodrome, giving you exotic legs, and Divide has a guide for you for that. So if you are searching for an exotic piece, those are the days to kind of go and farm those. And you can now select whether you want to do them Legend or Master. Don't forget that if you do it on Master, you get more challenging enemies, like more shielded, like
more champions.
More champions. But you do get a slightly higher chance at getting an exotic to drop. And if it's an exotic that you do not have, then there you go. It's a good day to do farming. And I hear on the grapevine there are some arms that are doing quite well on hunters and warlocks. So check Monday out.
Arms.
Gauntlets.
Like
Gauntlets, arms. Yes, those things.
I'm trying to think of what the warlock's arms are. I know the hunters.
There's two things that come out of the top of the warlock. It's what they hold the books with.
Yeah, I know, but like the legs, I would think are doing well because the whole, healing rift and the other rift are now the same thing, right? You can pop them both with the pants, but I don't remember what their arms do.
Well, lucky for you, I have a guide.
You have a guide.
I have two guides from Cool Guide this week in our show notes, but I'll go over them later. First, let's get on to this week at Bungie. For the 17th of March, 2022.
Trying to take me back in time, and I don't.
I was gonna be like, "Are you stressing, Peroty?" You almost said it again.
I swear, we made it through. Time has progressed. Doesn't feel like it, but it has.
Did it though?
Yeah, time has progressed. We're spending a lot of the time diving deeper into the Witch Queen and the Season of the Risen, and so Bungie apparently.
Yeah, there's quite a lot to do.
There's so much to do. I'm not even doing it. So fair.
You just thrown your arms up and said there's just too much here.
First of all, that's not a thing that you would say. So that's a lie.
I think he just
honestly,
has.
Yeah, this week I've had to do overtime to cover, and so I haven't been able to play. I've been sleeping.
Yeah, the Iron Banner has gone un-Nitedemoned, and the world has cried out in confusion.
Oh no, it hasn't gone un-Nitedemoned. I did play, I think, 3 games. I got my pinnacle, and started the quest because hey ho, there's another quest for Iron Banner. So do that when that's up, and don't forget you can do that on all 3 characters. So you get, for each part of the quest that you progress, you get an armor piece and a weapon. You get the seasonal weapon. The only problem is using
a helmet.
using a weapon.
Using
a hand cannon when you're not used to using a hand cannon to get hand kills. I know it's only 15, but it's killing me. And I think I've only got 3, and I swapped so many different hand cannons: Malfeasance, Crimsons, Fatebringers, all the hand cannons. None of them. Everybody else was being shot quicker, so I gave up. Well, I didn't really give up. I kind of went back to sleep.
What hand cannon are you using?
I just told you all the hand cannons.
Okay, not all of them, obviously, because one of them. Are you using exotics, legendaries? What?
I used all of them.
He just gave a list of like 5 or 6. Whereas I just got a brand new. I turned in a couple. Started Iron Banner because that's the thing we should start doing, and was just like, oh, I got one of the new hand cannons. So I was like, let me hold on to this because I assume I'll need to use a hand cannon. And my whole Iron Banner thing is always like, oh, you're gonna give me a gun? I'll just use that one. I don't care what the roll is. It'll be fine. It's only a couple of kills. And it actually went pretty well. It's a 180, so it feels like the Malfeasance and works at my old man speed.
Yep.
So I can deal with the recoil.
It has no recoil though. I mean,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to sort of. So honestly, all I was doing was chasing people around, and like running up behind them and just like popping them in the head a bunch of times. That was my entire hand cannon plan. I'm like, you engage that man. I'm gonna walk up behind you, and then just shoot you in the head till you die enough times.
You know, you're saying like the 180s are an old man's kind of hand cannon. the cheek of Odie this week because I played with him on balance. Use a 180. It's going to be a lot easier for you.
Yeah. I
Now
mean,
understand
I
you
just
cheeky
used the
little-
Frontier's Cry and got all my hand cannon kills.
Yep, yeah, that's the same one I use. Yeah, no, Odie is a young man, and he has.
Yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, did you try putting the mod on there, which helps you get headshots with your hand cannon when you were doing this?
I modded myself out. I modded.
Then it shouldn't have been that hard, man, because I suck with hand cannons. It only took me 2 games to
Every
get mine.
engagement that I came across, I was in a 1v1 and somebody else would come around the corner
Yeah.
and take that kill from me. And
Yeah.
I've shot 5 bullets into that man. Why is he not dead? Oh, that's because the other person came over with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Well, to
yeah,
be
you-
fair,
yeah,
there's
you're
also
trying
a
to
lot of
remove them.
overshields running around. Like, I was getting messed over by, again, hunters with overshields. And I was just like, that is unnatural. That makes me icky. That's not cool.
All of my friends get over shields. Plugged with the booty. Day one was like, here's how you can give all your friends over shields and strap detonators to all of your enemies. And that's all I really have ever wanted. I mean, that's
Over
the game
shields
I've
and
been wanting to play.
detonators.
Yeah, that was like my one ask.
Can
for
you
Void
can you do
3.0.
that on the same build? Over shields and detonators, or is it one or the
uh,
other?
Oh no, sir. That is the build I've been running since day one. Or once the legendary.
No kidding.
You
Is
can-
that a
you can
video?
put
Because I have a feeling I'm gonna need that video. pretty
yeah,
soon.
Mr. Booty of the Plunderer
Yeah.
has videos for all 3 classes of how to take full advantage and synergies of your Void 3.0. Oh, it is a beautiful thing. I can throw grenades to get my melee back, and which is my sword or shield throw, and then throw shields to get more grenades, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
And the shield weakens you. I suppress you with a grenade, and then you're just sad and dead.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened to you. All you know is you're sad and dead.
And that's my plan of the booty. One more time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's been in the show notes. I don't know, last couple of weeks.
Well, to be fair, I hadn't really needed to look at a Titan build. So
Oh yeah, but he has Warlock and Hunter builds too.
To
That
be
can,
fair.
can be just as good. And it's a little confusing because he put out like 6 videos. It's like, this is even more broken than the last build I made you. Here's another build that's also incredible. So I mean, pick one. They're all good.
I mean, but for the hunters, staying invis and healing 100% of the time is, how do you do better than that?
You're just using the, if you can dodge a brick, you can dodge a ball theory. If you can't see the hunter, you can't kill the hunter.
Yeah, well, I mean, not even that, right? But okay, so whenever you're on the bigger bosses that can stomp you, or you're not
No, that's not a
necessarily
thing.
invisible 100% of the time, you're still getting hurt. And the part of this build that makes it really unstoppable is every time you get a melee kill, aka glaive, you immediately begin health regen. So you're invis, and the few times you do get hit, you start that healing immediately. You know, almost immediately. You got to get a kill, obviously, but still, you know. And it's just so good. And I don't know how you can top that. And even last night, I was running through with Hawkslayer because he needed help in the campaign, and he was running a hunter, and we kept dying on the same spot multiple times because I was warlock, he was hunter. I'm like, okay, something wrong. A, you shouldn't be dying. B, you're using a smoke to go invis. That's really weird. So I had to run through his build with him to get everything, at least in my eyes, corrected. And then we started beating stuff right after that. Boom, 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 boom. He goes, yeah, this really works. I'm like, yeah, how did you not know this? You know? Invis, constant healing, you're a hunter. Glaive is your main this season, period. You're done. You know? Sorry. You have no other weapons in your vault. You think you have a hand cannon? You don't. You think you have a sniper? You don't. It's all glaive. Right? Primary glaive, secondary glaive, exotic glaive, heavy glaive. You're glaive. Period.
It's also important if you're playing the campaign, you know, don't swap out to the armor that's a higher light level, and then have your friend Fuzzco point out that your resilience is currently 18, and that's why you're dying all of a sudden. Yeah, no. So again, numbers in this game do matter.
Some of them, yes. Well, I mean, I don't know. Okay.
No, I can tell you for a fact, if you take your resilience down to 18, you're gonna die every 6 seconds. Whereas if it's up at like, you know, 70 or 80 where it should be, you're gonna do much better. I ran this with 2 scientists. I was a control. It didn't work out well.
That's true. You did. But like as a hunter on one of my builds, I've never gone above 28 resilience. And my current hunter, I have 6 discipline. But I always have a
fine.
grenade.
That's why you fear the shoulder charge. A stiff breeze will kill you. That now it all makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, even right now, I have 6 discipline, but I still have a grenade all the time. So I mean, some numbers matter. I guess that one number is way more important than others, to be fair. But then again, Micah, the guy, you played with Micah before. He used to be in the clan. He runs a mobility titan, which to me just sounds weird, but it works for him. And I don't even know what the hell the point of a mobility titan is, because you don't run faster. You walk faster, but you run at the same speed, and you have nothing that charges off of mobility, as far as I'm aware.
Does he mean a stasis titan?
No, he rocks void. He likes blowing stuff up.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a bunch of, when stasis came out, particularly there was a bunch of mobility based builds that came out because the movement on as a stasis titan is just ridiculous.
I see.
So and we have there's some of that now with void, and yeah, I mean you can absolutely spec into mobility, just like you can spec into anything. You can be
but what does mobility do for a titan besides making you walk faster? That's my confusion.
Puts you in a position faster to beat the hell out of people.
But you don't run faster. Bungie says everybody sprints at the same speed. Unless you have like a lightweight frame weapon or something, then yeah, you go faster. I think
you're asking the wrong person.
I am asking the wrong person.
I have some mobility. I must. I don't know what it is, but I'm certain I must have some.
It's a number.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Sorry.
So we had our final psyops being revealed this week on the moon, which was quite interesting. Going back to was it the Scarlet Keep, wasn't it? In the reverse. Have you guys played this yet?
I did.
It's quite cool. There's also a hidden triumph.
I did not know that.
Did you know? So the nice Cabal buddies that get dropped in by Keitel to give us a little bit of a hand, we're meant to protect them. They're not meant to die. So
I tried really hard because I didn't even know there was a hidden triumph. But I was like, he's a friend. We protect our friends.
I say it's a hidden triumph. It is a triumph, and I think you see it, but it doesn't really. You know, when with Bungie, they just give you a title of whatever it is. They don't actually tell you what it is. 360 Game to EV has a guide which I've put in our show notes, and on how to impress the Empress, which is basically keep the 2 Cabal champions that are dropped in during that Moon Psyops battlegrounds safe. And it shows you the locations of like key enemies that you need to take out to keep them safe. So as long as you keep them safe, you'll get an extra 10 points on your triumph score. Worth doing it if you're doing it. And I think you can only do it in the Psyops Battleground playlist. So when it comes up, keep an eye out for that, because maybe the person that you're running with, maybe the blue breed that you're running with, doesn't necessarily have that triumph. Maybe you're just going to help them out. Just keep those Cabals safe. Keep your Cabals safe at all times.
Your Cabals?
That's what I say. That's what I said.
Shield your Cabals. Shielding your Cabals is very important.
It is. Especially if you're a Titan.
Lord Saladin, Brackus Saladinus will be very unhappy with you if you don't.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys have been playing a little bit of Iron Banner, have you enjoyed the new hand cannon, the 180 Grandad hand cannon parody?
I have, in that I got
the one we
my
just
kills
mentioned.
with it. Yep, I got it. I got it and got my hand cannon kills with it, and then I took it. Probably never to use it again. But I do like the 180s. I just enjoy that archetype. Malfeasance is my favorite exotic hand cannon. So I like the way that I didn't even look at what they are, because I was like, it's a hand cannon. I can never which RPM feels like what. But I put it on and I was like, oh, you're familiar to me. We're friends. We can do this.
So are you happy that Malfeasance got a substantial buff? Have you played with it this season? Because it's doing some really good damage to bosses.
Tiny bit. Yeah, I played with it just like a tiny little bit. I've not fully dedicated myself to gilding my dredgen yet this season. Probably that'll be next week's task with all the extra Gambit goodness.
Yeah.
But that's my plan, is to bring my new fancy summoner auto rifle and Malfeasance into Gambit and just go, oh, you're taken? No, you're not. Because it's so good there.
But Malfeasance also has a 40% buff on red bars too. So
yeah. But the explosions, I think the explosions also got a buff.
Yeah, they're more explosion-y.
Yeah.
You can absolutely, like, it's like having Dragonfly as a explosion from the inside. It's good. It's
really?
fun.
And I believe in the show notes a couple of weeks back, I put a video by TDT who did a quick breakdown on it, taking it through that Perseverance, whatever that mission is that's now popped up because
Perseverance,
of the raid. Yeah,
the one that's not actually the raid. Don't go into the raid thinking you're going into that mission. It's going to be.
But he took it to that, and he was showing you how much damage it was doing on that opening area with the. Is it an aspect of Savathûn? I guess something of Savathûn. It looks like Savathûn. It fights like Savathûn. It's there.
Smells like Savathûn.
Yeah.
But
we have some dates to save.
We do. I know people have been saying, hey, Bungie's been crushing it with everything. Where's our content?
Right.
And Bungie's like, well, how about a bulleted list? Now the
Bungie say
is,
mum about this. They stay very quiet, don't they?
They
because
do.
We had a lot of controversy with calendars for a long time. There was like, we're going to give you this on this specific date, and then when it didn't happen or something was misprinted, it was like, Bungie, you're so bad you can't even keep to a calendar. And they're like,
you've lied to us and led us astray. How dare you give us information we asked you for?
But they still gave us a calendar. It's just printed instead of graphic.
Take it as a grain of salt that it may be wrong or that things might change.
No, Nitedemon, you're looking at this the wrong way this season.
Okay.
This is the season of lies. They gave us a calendar. There's no way to tell that this isn't Savathûn behind the scenes giving us false information. There's like 4 truths and 4 lies on this calendar, and you've got to figure out which one it is. See, it's all part of the seasonal mission. It's all part of the story.
Go on then. Tell me what's happening.
Some of these dates will be right. Some of these dates will be just absolutely made up.
So this week we know is right because it's this week and we know what's happening.
We do. Yep. We did get an Iron Banner and a new PsyOps Battleground location this week.
Okay,
that did happen. So theoretically, next week we're going to get the Legend PsyOps Battleground, and your Vow of the Disciple raid will have challenges. Will it? Who knows? Maybe. Now we told you all about this week. You're not going to capture any zones in Clash and PvP. So April 1st, now that's also April Fool's Day and in the Season of Lies, so there's no telling what's going to happen. Bungie, please take this opportunity to break something hilariously. Trials Labs will have zone capture the week of April 1st.
Nice.
So zone capture Trial Labs. So it's it's normal trials, but you get a zone at the end. So if you can keep the other team away from the zone, you can win that way. Now April 5th, Grandmaster Nightfalls make an appearance. So if you're trying to go Conqueror and be a Conqueror buddy, Grandmaster Nightfalls will be up. If you've been saying, I want to dip my toe into trials, I've heard all the horror stories from my friends, but I really want to just farm the auto rifles, but I don't have any friends to go in with that I've talked into this yet, April 8th. Mark April 8th on your calendar because that's your freelance trial class.
That's my birthday! Yay!
For Respawn's birthday, we're all going to go play freelance Trials Labs because that's how we properly celebrate Respawn. Away from him.
And apparently I'll be playing a Titan, so there's that.
Yeah, so there you go. You can go play some Trials Labs freelance. Now you don't have to play freelance. That week you can still play regular trials. They just have the freelance node, just like the Iron Banner and now Gambit has a freelance node on it. April 12th, Nitedemon, put that on your calendar. After we've properly celebrated Respawn, April 12th, Iron Banner returns, and there is no trials that weekend. Because remember, kids, if Iron Banner's up, there's no trials, which is why if you're playing trials this weekend, no, you're not. You're playing Iron Banner with everybody who wants to be playing trials. That's why it got sweatier.
Again, I won't be playing Iron Banner that week. It's in the UK, that's Easter holiday week. And you know what that means? The kids are home, the wife's home. It means I'm doing jobs all week.
April birthdays are the best birthdays.
You're gonna have to have a talk about this schedule with Bungie because they clearly are not taking their UK content creators into account.
They're not.
Have they ever? Name one UK content creator.
Jav.
Bife. Datto.
Damn it. Okay, I take it back.
Datto? Datto's not
Datto?
British.
No, he's not.
You're just throwing names out and he went, yeah.
Yeah, Bife I knew Datto. I was like, if I just slipped that in, if he just goes, April 19th, after you've been disappointed at your lack of Iron Banner because of Easter, your Vow of the Disciple has Master difficulty, so you can get kicked even farther away. And then April 22nd, we have another zone capture in Trials Labs. May 3rd to 24th, the Hunters get to get angry again, or maybe it's a Warlock's Day finally, because the Guardian Games returns for our month of May. So we have a couple of 3 weeks of, play the game, do the things. get yourself a statue or not, because the points are made up and no one cares.
And, I was going to say that I was going to actually agree with you on that, Peroty, because if they go with numbers, hunters are going to win. If they fudge numbers, hunters are going to lose. So I'm just like, I don't even care about that anymore, because there's no way to make that game mode fair. Either A, you leave it alone and hunters win, or B, you fudge something and Titans probably win.
I'm going to say it now. I'm not going to make a bet, though, but I'm saying it. Because I think we've all learned our lesson on that.
Mm. Well, I've played the clip, and so far, the only people that have replied are Titans telling me that I lost. So, nobody else has replied!
Well, you asked for the poll, nobody else.
Yeah, that's fair.
your own fault.
I mean, so far, it looks like I'm going to play a Titan. I mean, that's all the responses I've gotten so far.
You should have opened a poll to say who's in this chat before I open this poll to know you're not within, good company.
That's fair.
Anyway, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this year that the Warlocks are going to win it, because somehow they're going to win it, the way that they work these numbers out, because it's only fair. Titans won the first year, Hunters won the second, and Warlocks have been in second place all these times. It's only fair that they win it, and then we call an end to Guardian Games for Destiny 2.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think Guardian Games is a bad idea.
You all won it once, that's it. It doesn't happen again. Because if the Hunters win it for a second time, we won't hear the end of it. If the Titans win for a second time, we won't hear the end
it doesn't count though. No, because even if Hunters win, that's what I'm saying. Even if Hunters win, it shouldn't count, because we have the numbers. Well, but because Titans won before that, and I was because they messed with our numbers.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If they fudge numbers and things and Titans win, we won't hear the last of it. If the Hunters win, we won't hear the last of it. So it's only fair that the Warlocks win. One each, that's it, over and done with. No more.
No, but even if
something else.
Even if the Titans win, though, I'm not even going to get upset, because we know that it's just how it is. They mess with numbers, somebody else is going to win.
Time stamping that one.
Clip it. A Twitch chat. Yeah. Clip that one. Hold that one, so we can play that for Respawn when he's screaming about something.
I'm not though, because I've come to terms with either.
You say that now.
You said that before, yeah. I'm sure.
No, I've had my piece. Like, if they didn't fudge the numbers, Hunters won like I knew they would. And that's all I wanted. I wanted justification. Like, if they didn't mess with the numbers, Hunters would have won. And I had my justification. They left the numbers alone, and Hunters won. See, I told you. I was right. I'm good. I'm done.
Well, now that we've established that, once we start our Guardian Games, and no one really cares about, Trials Labs will be that very first weekend. It'll be freelance, and it'll have a community-voted map. So I say we should play on a Gambit map and not any of these PvP maps at all, but they probably won't open the voting that far. So Nitedemon.
What Gambit map would you choose?
The one on the planet that doesn't exist anymore, on Titan, obviously. With Shriekers. It'd be more fun that way.
I would pick the one that's really small, that basically you have nowhere to spawn. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Nitedemon, here's my final offer. May 10th. What are you doing the weekend of May 10th? Or I guess I should say the week of May 10th. Clear your calendar. Unless that's like your 900th anniversary or something. Because Iron Banner, May 10th, your last one of the season. It's my final offer, May 10th. And
possibly. Then that one should be fine.
Okay, so there we go. May 10th.
The weekend, it's my kid's birthday. And it's not just one child, it's two children. The 12th and the 13th. No. The 13th and the 14th, I'm like, double whammy.
Excellent or poor planning, one or the other. Yeah. And then finally for the season, after our last Iron Banner, we have our last Trials, which is going to be May 20th. It'll be Trials Labs, Freelance, and Zone Capture. So you can say, I want to play Freelance, I want to play Zone Capture, I want to play Freelance Zone Capture.
So how come Freelance isn't every week, though? That should just be there. Like...
Well, that I'm sure this right here tells me that's probably Bungie going, let's see if late in the season do we have enough people to have sort of 4 different game types up, and are there enough people for all 4? Because they've always said, it's Trials, we're worried about splitting the population up too much. I mean, Freelance seems like they've running a couple of those every couple weeks. That feels like it's okay. I mean, like, again, in my totally unscientific, I've played a bunch of this and it's always seemed fine in terms of population. But I'm wondering if they're going to, they're probably going, let's have 4 different permutations up at the same weekend at the end of a season, which always sees a little bit of drop off anyway. Are there enough people to make this worthwhile? Is this going to work out? So hopefully, yes. So If you all want to have your freelance trials and things, go play it that final weekend. Show Bungie some numbers that yes, there's enough people to do this, and they should give us more options. Or don't. I can't tell you what to do because then we'll be the next season, and then you'll be thinking all about whatever you're doing for the next season at that point.
But is it really splitting the pool though? Like, okay, Peroty, hear me out, right?
Yes.
Because most people don't play because they don't have people to play with. They can't form a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have the freelance, then people that can't form their own team are coming to play. So it seems like it would be increasing the pool size, not splitting it, right?
Well, I mean, it's increasing the total number of trials players, yes, but you still have two pools, people in groups and people in freelance. It's still two pools of players, and if one of those pools is way too small,
Long
Bungie
wait
doesn't-
times.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Bungie doesn't want to ruin it by saying, yeah, you have 4 options. You're going to wait 2 minutes between each match, but we'll give you the option. They want to try to find a balance between that. So yeah, if there's plenty of people and there's enough people in all those various pools, they're good. But yeah, if and like I said before, if it sits forever, or if you're and again, they have all the different permutations of all the matchmaking levels and tiers of everything else to consider. They don't want us lowly plebes to have to wait 5 minutes per matches. And they don't want their people who have gone flawless 16 times to wait 5 minutes per match. Like they're trying to find some balance in that to have a good experience for everyone, or at least good enough given that you can never make everybody happy.
Fair. That's fair.
Anyway, it's summoner season, so everyone should go play trials anyway and hoard your Ingram.
Okay,
and
you
turn them
say
into
that,
summoners.
but right now,
Mhm.
Aisha's Embrace, I am
I
eating
don't
people
care.
alive with that
I
scout.
don't
dude.
care.
I'm
That's
telling you.
great.
It's a good
I mean, that's
scout.
great for you. I'm not saying don't use it. That's wonderful. It's not a summoner, so some of us
it'll
have
outrange
dedicated
a summoner.
relationships. Yeah, but it's a scout rifle. I can't hold the button down. Well, actually, that's not
You
true.
can. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
Hold the
doing.
button down.
I'm running that bad boy on full auto, buddy.
Mm,
Absolutely.
Okay, you make a valid point. Full auto retrofit is a thing. I can turn it into an auto rifle.
You can. And it's
Okay,
good. It's good.
Is it better than the Scholars, whatever that other one was?
I think it is.
Scholars, what's it called?
It's way more consistent. I have a good
Nice.
yeah, it's more stable. I guess you could say it's more stable. It's more consistent when tapping those headshots, especially on full auto.
Well, that's not a thing I intend to be doing, but it's good to know that it's stable at least.
Mm-hmm.
I have headshot aspiration, not so much headshot execution.
Yep. And then when you use the one quiet moment, increases reload speed outside of combat. That reloads. Pop, pop. You're done.
Yeah, I was wondering because I've got that on the summoner, not to sound like a broken record, and I have seen it pop.
We
a
know
couple
you
of
love your
times,
autos.
just
Yeah.
just like in Iron Banner. Well, no, I mean that was one of those like wasn't sure if the one quiet moment would be useful at all, but I've
Mhm.
seen it. Like I've actually been trying to pay attention to it. Like I've seen it pop in Iron Banner a few times. So it's like, okay, there is a possibility for this to come up. Whether it's going to be useful or clutch, I don't know, but at least it's a thing that's viable.
Well, of the other option, the other
Yeah.
option is,
Alacrity,
you get
which-
bonuses when you're the last remaining person on your fire
Right.
team, which in Iron Banner is not going to be a thing. Trials, it'll be a thing if you're that good.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I'm the last remaining person on my fire team in trials, we've already lost. You don't want me to be in that situation
Oh, come
unless
on, I
I'm
believe
there
in you.
to res somebody else.
I believe in you, Peroty.
You shouldn't. your belief is misplaced.
Fair.
I do believe at some point, I can't see it in the TWAB, but they did mention that they were going to do Gambit Labs, and that was going to be this season, but they haven't put it in their calendar. So
Yeah,
hopefully that's going to pop up at some point as well. I like the fact that we've now changed things to labs, and it's injected a bit more like playability to the whatever it is.
It's a fancy
The
word.
playlist.
Labs. Sounds scientific.
yeah.
Into the playlist, and if they do it with Iron Banner labs. Let's have labs on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
And we have raid labs. No, raid labs, Iron Banner labs.
I mean, what would you do in a raid labs, though? I mean, I'm on board, but what would you do?
Glaives only.
I'm all about that. I do that anyway.
12-man
Six-man raid
raids. 12-man raid.
Ooh.
We up the difficulty to contest, but we allow you to have 6 other members.
Because that could also
Or
cause a lot of
extra 2.
chaos too, especially
Or an
in this
extra
raid
2.
where you have to shoot certain things, when you have to have certain symbols in certain orders. That could also be a detriment to your team too, having those extra people.
I think we go full out. They've managed to get so many people in, strikes. We could have strikes labs. You know where they used to get like 12 people into a strike or a grandmaster and things like that.
Yep.
Let's go all out. Let them do that and up the difficulty. Give them a contest mode. Let them put as many people in there up to 12 they like, and have at it. Let's have different things labs. Everything labs.
Have at
the labs.
All the things. Now that they've remembered labs as a thing, let's bring it to everything. Go all in. Give me all of the labs. Yeah, I'm really wondering if they were like, so Gambit's still in a Gambit-y place, so we're gonna forget about Gambit labs for the season, or if they're gonna slip it in late in the season. Go, hey, we do this surprise.
Hey, we didn't forget about you after all.
No, they have forgot about Gambit, and that's fine. It's just Firefight. It's just Firefight by a different name with a little bit of PvP thrown in. That's all it is.
You said Firefight, I was thinking of Firefly, and I got nostalgic. It's my own fault.
Slightly different.
I know.
You've given him instant depression. He thought Firefly, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Cade, yeah.
Yeah, it respawned, so you probably would have been equally sad that I loaded in, I think, the first Iron Banner match this week. And who did I see on the other team immediately?
No.
Nathan Fillion?
Cade 6.
Oh, no.
What was right there on the other team, just laying waste to everybody. He's Cade 6.
Yeah.
Not as much as Squidward, the Warlock to end all Warlocks, but Cade 6 did pretty well too.
Is that the 52-0 guy?
55, yes.
55 and
yeah, he was there with 3 of his friends, who I assume were just there to be his cheering club.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they played fine, but he had 55 kills. So really, at that point, it's just watch him.
Were they just walking around with using him as a human shield, or what?
I think he was using them as human shields. He was using them.
That's
as
what I meant. Yeah.
distractions.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it was basically just like, look, other people on my team, they're not who you have to worry about, but look, they're totally here. You should definitely remember them.
Yeah, instead of having one body shield, he's got 2 body shields, so he's got plenty of time to kill whoever killed them.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's the way to do it. Hey, Nitedemon and Peroty, I have a strat I need to discuss with you guys.
For what?
For anything PvP related. For trials, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna run in front of me and take up all of the damage, and then I'll just clean them up, because that's what friends do.
Yep. That's my strat and have you not seen me play trials, sir?
I have.
That's my strat anyway. My strat in trials is to put bullets into an area, wait for them to peek, and then put the bullets into their face.
That's a good strat.
Or every now and again, put up a wall I can shoot through and shoot arrows at them. That's also fun.
People still use that?
Oh yeah. Lamar. I mean, in trials, I don't know. I haven't touched the season yet because I have.
I mean, it makes sense. You have a shield you can shoot through, but I haven't seen it.
Lamonarch is your friend.
Yeah.
Not their friend, but it's your friend.
Speaking of which, I got that catalyst finally. Did y'all get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Haven't gotten that one, but I've gotten the Hawkmoon, the DMT, and the Outbreak Perfected this week.
Well, that's the only one that I was missing. I have all the others.
Yeah, I've got all the others.
Yeah.
See, I don't, because I didn't care to do the really hard thing to get it.
So
Bungie
just
said,
explain what you're talking about, Peroty, because a lot of people might not know.
oh yeah, so if you never got it, basically, if Catalyst game that you now cannot get, like Hawkmoon, DMT, because they've removed those missions, or the Outbreak Perfected because they removed that mission and really the entire area where it was, they've now added those into after game rewards in playlist drops. Now I don't remember. I think
Whisper
one
in the Worm
came
as
from
well?
probably.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that one. I don't remember the full list. I know at some point they said like 6 or 8 or whatever they were putting into the pool. So basically, yeah, if there's a catalyst you cannot get because the activity is gone, go play the game because it's likely going to drop for you.
Yeah.
I think one was a Vanguard list, one was a Gambit, and one dropped after Crucible. I think I'm got one of each.
Fairly
Yeah, I
certain
think they
I got
dropped
mine
the activities.
in Iron Banner. Pretty sure I got
they dropped-
Monarch in Iron Banner.
Yeah.
All the activities, any activity like Strikes, Gambit, Crucible, you'll get a chance at it to drop at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen those come in, and I was like, "Oh, I should now find time to work on those and ignore the new guns that also
Yeah.
working on to try to level up.
Bungie kind of learnt their lesson on that one of don't put something in an activity where people are going to get upset and have to grind to get it. We'll put it across all activities.
Yeah.
And
We'll just
speaking
say,
of things,
go play the game.
And speaking of things that Bungie have sort of learnt a lesson on now,
Until the next time.
let's talk about the trait element caps for crafting.
They haven't done it yet, but they are going to be increasing them up to 1,000.
So apparently,
50.
over the last few weeks, Guardians have been crafting some spicy weaponry at the Enclave on Mars. Patterns have been discovered, traits have been enhanced, and exotic glaives have been shaped.
Mm-hmm.
As with all things Destiny, the team has been keeping an eye on players' conversations around crafting, planning next steps, and looking towards the future. Guess what? We've got a hotfix coming next Tuesday, so when you've listened to this podcast, there'll be a hotfix on the Tuesday, hopefully, with a few minor changes and some commentary on the feedback items that the team were looking into to address in future patches and tuning passes. So this basically boils down to the fact that a lot of people in the community, I've seen some people say yay, some people say nay, that they don't mind the caps, some people do mind the caps, but let's face it, I think we were all in agreement here that the caps were way too low on those, on the millions of elements that we now have to collect via playing with a stupid weapon and then breaking down the red element part of it to then collect those elements to then go and do the crafting. And when you've maxed those out, you end up hoarding said red squared weapons in your vault because you've got nowhere else to put them, and you don't want to lose out the fact that you've used that weapon to get the elements to then, when you're ready to do the crafting, you don't want to lose out on those things, basically.
Yeah, so, and I understand they wanted to give us a grind, right? But you spend all this time maxing out these things, you craft 1 or 2 weapons, and then all of those things are gone, and you have to spend all this time grinding those things again. You know, just it's not efficient in any way, shape, or form. You know,
I was listening to, I think it was Last Word podcast with Ibontis, Ty Guy Travis, and Lord Cognito this week, and I think Ty Guy hit the nail on the head with the fact that they put these caps in so that the players that are playing constantly, you know, it doesn't really matter to them, because if they dismantle a weapon, it's gone. They can await. They're playing so much, like the streamers and the YouTubers, they're going to get those weapons back. It's nothing to them. But the people that are kind of in the middle ground, like us, that play not as much, but we play, and it affects us if we've got those weapons and we're trying to hoard onto those weapons because we need those elements for when we do come to the crafting section of it. It's those people that it's kind of hurting. And something that he said on there was that somewhere along the lines, I think either in a conversation that he had with DMG or in tweets somewhere, apparently there was going to be these elements for each different perk in the game. So there
each trait
there would be like one for Rampage, there'd be one for Kill Clip, the Chill Clip. Literally they had like 50 planned.
Jesus.
But they couldn't do it because of the constraints of the game. So you imagine that. I think they boiled it down to like 12.
I'm glad they didn't do that. That's insane.
Down to like 2 or 3 now. But yeah, that would have been insane. I think people really, I understand if it was built into the game from the get-go and that's what we had to deal with and there wasn't really any caps on it, I think people would have probably been all right with that. But because this is something that's been brought into the game now and they've introduced so many more currencies, I think Peroty said it many a times, that way too many currencies. We've got so many to deal with over here, so many to deal with over there. And then they're constantly like, oh, we're going to take these ones out and give you something in return. It's like, but you're giving us, why you keep giving us, you're just like swapping out. It doesn't make any sense. Just,
yeah, it seems like we're never changing out what they are. Oh, we're removing these 16 currencies. Guess what? We're giving you 20 more to worry. At least they've gotten to the point where they're not making them take up vault space. They're just, you know, like all these things just sort of live. All of these crafting materials.
They live what?
at least they're fine at the point where like they're giving us all these crafting materials, but they're not living in our vault space. They're not taking up vault space. They're just sort of like out there in the ether. Because yeah, I mean, they're not going to give us any more vault space, but then they're going to make us hoard weapons to have the materials in.
And it gets even worse than that. But like if they would have kept all those different types of materials, you now have to worry about a red frame weapon dropping that RNG, and then a red frame weapon dropping that has the perks that you want. So you got to worry about that RNG. I mean, it's just that is way too much RNG involved, man. Too much.
And I had sort of forgotten this week that it's not every, to get the pattern, you have to find a gun that has a pattern extractable.
Yep.
Not just that can have something extracted. It's like, no, you need to have the proper thing extracted to be able to use it at all.
No.
Otherwise, it's just like, hey, you got more materials. Cool.
Yeah.
That's a misnomer. You just need 2 red frame of the same weapon, and it gives you the blueprint.
Yeah, and 5 for like raid weapons and is it trials? I don't even know what it is. It's weapons anyway. It's definitely the raid ones that have 5.
Okay.
Keitel weapons that may have 5 as well.
Okay, so if I get my 3rd auto rifle to drop, my 3rd pulse rifle, if I just keep grabbing them, extracting the materials out of them, the pattern will come with it on that 2nd, 3rd, 5th, whatever.
It's a number of red borders. It's not a random drop from a red border.
No, well, it's also that, because like I have a bow that says you can extract a pattern out of this.
Really?
Or is that just the second? Because I feel like that's the first time I've gotten that bow. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure it's the first bow I have that I will look at the name of because I don't remember. That flat out says like you can take a pattern out of me. So I wasn't sure if, because honestly I sort of have paid attention to the crafting.
Yes.
I've crafted exactly 2 things this season. The glaive's one of them.
What you're saying is like the red frame weapons, you can get various different red frame weapons to drop. So you can get the crate red frame weapon, but you can't craft the crate weapon at this point in time, but you can get a red frame version of it to extract elements out of it.
Right.
Now there are certain other weapons in the game, like the raid weapons, like the weapons from the PsyOps battlegrounds, like other random weapons in the game, and I can't remember exactly where they all come from. But there are certain ones that you can actually craft, and now when you get a red frame weapon that is craftable, it will say that you can extract the pattern out of it. Now, some of these weapons, you need 2 or 3 patterns to actually unlock it at the Enclave. And if you go to the Enclave and select different weapons, it will tell you how many patterns that you need for each weapon.
Right.
I think you may be able to look in your exotics and patterns on your character as well now.
Yeah, on that tab and see what you have and what your progress is.
See what it says there as well.
Okay.
So yeah, there are red frame weapons that you can extract stuff out of, but there are only certain ones that you can craft this season at the moment. So those nice blue tassely ones that Keitel has, there are some nice ones from there. I think there was that. There's also like the Harkei rocket launcher, which I'm not sure where it comes from, but it's one of the ones that is craftable. Maybe it's like Throne World weapons.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There are certain weapons that you can craft and some that you can't. But red frame weapons have a chance to beat anything. I got a summoner the other week that had red frame on it, but you can't craft the summoner.
Right. Yeah. Like this one I have now.
Can't craft the summoner.
Where it says this weapon's pattern can be extracted, and I wasn't sure if that was just a random drop on this particular version of this bow, or if it's a craftable weapon, it'll drop you the pattern so you can craft it and then hoard your materials for it.
No, it is a number of red frame weapons that you fill out. Yeah.
But I was like, because I've done a whole bunch of those red frame weapons, and the one
it has to be the same type.
That's about it.
Yeah, it has to be the same type, because that was my problem whenever I was trying to get the exotic glaive, is I needed 2 of the grenade launcher and 2 of the auto rifle to drop, and I had 1 grenade launcher, 1 auto rifle, and I could not get either one of them to drop because drop rates were so low. So as soon as I got the second ones and I filled out and I leveled it up or whatever, filled out the pattern, boom, I got them both. You know. So yeah.
Okay, so moral of the story is when you get a red frame weapon to drop, take a peek at it, because it will say you can take the deep sight resonance of blah 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 out of it, or it'll say you can take this pattern out. And you don't want to hold on to or junk the one that says you can take the pattern out.
This one says deep site resonance. This one says this one's pattern can be extracted. Yes. So when it says this pattern can be extracted, that means you can eventually craft it if you do enough of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So the development team from Bungie said that one piece of feedback in particular deals with crafting element caps, and some players have been maxing out their elements frequently, or just completely, and then just throwing stuff in the vault.
Yeah.
So starting next Tuesday with a hotfix 4.0.0.4, they'll be increasing the elemental cap from 250 to 1000 for neutral elements. The cap will move from 850,000 to 10,000. Interesting. And then next season, they're going to remove all the other ones that we don't care about. So the Ruinous, the Drought, the Mutable, the Drowned, and the Energetic elements will all be going. And only neutral elements will remain. Do you want to hear what their initial goals were? Because I think their initial goals were to just confuse us.
To just confuse us? Is that what you said?
Yeah, just to confuse us even more. So their initial goals for these currencies were to sustain an interest in non-crafted weapon drops and to retain the chase of the weapons with well-rolled perks in post-crafting Destiny 2. The desire was that players would continually chase for combinations such as subsistence plus rampage to fuel their crafting progression through deep sight completions. That's basically the long and short of it. They just wanted us to grind more, and they thought if they threw more elements at us to collect and such a low
that Nitedemon would actually do it. Yes.
Low storage caps, then people would be all right with that.
He's not denying it. Like, yeah, and
look, I haven't had. The thing is, with the crafting, I took on board because I thought, I'm at the limit for all my crafting materials.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll take on board what people have been saying, because some people have been saying just get out there and craft the items. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the Enclave. I'm going to craft some of these weapons, because then at least I've got these weapons. I can level them up and then change the perks to what I want at the end.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think people are kind of forgetting is when you first craft a weapon, it's the very basic crafting materials that
and then you have to level it up. Yep.
And then you have to level it up to then use like those 250 you've got stored of each of those higher elements to use those up. So I'm still at the cap of all of those because I haven't been able to use those because the weapons that I've crafted haven't been leveled up quick enough or high enough to then reshape them quicker. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of in a catch-22 thing. You've got to use these weapons continuously and not dismantle any deep sight ones until you've kind of
but here's what you do though. Here's what you do with that. Okay, so as far as leveling them up, I have noticed if somebody has a faster way, let me know. But I have noticed that if you take them into the what's the name of it? Hold on, I'm gonna look right now. If
PvP,
no,
I think you're struggling with today.
No. If you take it into the wellspring, 2
PvP, I think also
to
goes
3 wellsprings will completely level up a weapon.
Oh, if you do a legendary campaign mission, just do the replayable ones. It's like about 50%.
Yeah, but that's a long time though.
Some of them go really quickly, especially if you're doing like the match made one.
When I say completely
Hero.
level up, sorry, I need to be clear so this doesn't come back. If you have like the red bars like this, where you haven't done anything to them yet, right here, you see where it says attunement progress 0. Yeah.
You mean like a level up?
If you don't use the weapon at all and you just have it on your person, it takes 3 runs of the well to complete it. If you're using it...
Oh, no, I've been doing things like that. Yeah.
If you're using it in the well, it takes 1 to 2 to level it up as far as this attunement progress goes. Now, as far as leveling up, like the weapon level itself, after you've crafted one, I think I'll have to go check, every level either gives you 48% or 38% of your level per wellspring. So wellspring is also another really fast way to level up if you're trying to level up the weapon itself, right? So wellspring, believe it or not, just gives just crap tons of XP to weapons. I don't know why, because I've taken it into other activities. I've taken these weapons through an entire non-legendary few storyline missions to help a buddy out, and I got like 12% of a level. So I don't know. Wellspring is just the way to go, and I guess PvP question mark.
I think just anything, just do what you said. Just if it's like a heavy that you're not going to use, or just use it a couple of times. Just stick it on. I mean, that's how I've been able to level up my glaive and things really quickly. I say really quickly, not
glaive.
as quickly as some other people.
My glaive is absurd. My glaive is level 59.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and then the point of leveling all these weapons is that is how you like for Respawn's glaive, he is obviously, I assume, have unlocked all of the enhanced traits for the glaive because you.
I think the limit is level 16. Once you hit level 16, you've unlocked everything.
Traits.
Yeah.
Okay. So So if you have a weapon that you've just crafted and you go, great, now I want to make this a good weapon. Use it. You'll unlock the enhanced traits as you use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but saying that, you unlock the ability to then go back to the enclave and then use whatever you stored up.
Yep.
And your ascendant alloys, which are the exotic parts of it that you can buy.
Which I've still never
Rahul.
gotten any of those to drop.
But
those are what you need to then buy the enhanced perks. And I've seen a lot of people complain about the fact that they've unlocked the enhanced perks, but then they've wanted to change it back or change one or two of them. But the game then charges you again for the ascendant alloys and everything else if you want to then go back and use it again. It should, if you've already purchased it, be unlocked and just be recraftable, maybe for a bit of glimmer. Bit like
it isn't now, but it will be. After the hotfix.
No, they're not changing that part.
They are changing that part. They're making it so that if you've already unlocked it, it'll be unlocked for you. Was it Astacross that said that? I don't know. Maybe I misheard, but I'm pretty sure they said they are changing that.
No, they're complaining that the fact that it isn't available to do, it's something in the future that Bungie need to do.
Oh, is that what it was?
There's no point in grinding these ascendant alloys to unlock, and do what you've done, get to level 52 on your glaive, and it not actually be possible to then just switch by going to the enclave to switch it up.
Yeah.
But those ascendant alloys, guess what? They're not going anywhere. So the ascendant alloy currency was added after they'd already condensed the elements, and because they were unable to resolve all the other issues. But it's going to be sticking around, so we're still going to have those to unlock the enhanced traits. So
I get that, but after you've unlocked the enhanced trait, you don't need to. I'm sorry, you currently still need them if you want to change your enhanced traits, but in the future, they were saying that once you've unlocked the enhanced traits, you don't need to send an alloy from that point forward to unlock enhanced traits. Are we on the same page, or am I thinking of something else?
But he's saying but to reshape. If you're paying to reshape it, you still need the ascendant alloy.
Yeah, but that's what's going to change. That part, in the future, you won't need the ascendant to reshape, right? Or is it still going to need it in the future?
Still going to need it at this point.
Yes. Yeah, that's the disconnect. But people are saying, Bungie, you should change it so it doesn't require it.
Yeah.
Bungie is saying we're not changing it yet. You're still going to require it. So keep your ascendant alloys safe.
That's asinine.
I mean, it's a brand new system. They're gonna get there. It's just they're gonna get there season.
I understand, but
as they do.
They're just saying, "Hey, we're not going to do it." I mean, it's like for you to just tell your fans you're not going to do it like that is.
Well, I mean, they didn't say we're not going to. Well, I mean, they said it's not. We're not taking it out. They didn't say they aren't making changes to it. They just said we're not removing it from the game. It's still going to be in the game.
If they still want feedback on it all, if you're unhappy the fact that you'd have to recraft it and spend some more alloys on it, then just get in touch with them. Tell them, give them your feedback. I mean, it's just that they're looking to add more player control over the deep sight weapons, unlocking the weapon patterns. They're going to continue to monitor deep sight weapon stockpiling, acquisition rates and progression, as well as resident alloy acquisition rates and behavior. And they're also discussing feedback around reshaping costs for those who wish to experiment more frequently with their trait selections. So they're not going to change it just yet, but they're looking at it.
Yeah. I'd love to see some numbers, or I don't know, numbers would be hard, but just like how many people are using their shaped weapons for, other than the glaive. The glaive's the new hot, so of course everyone's using a glaive this season. I feel like that'll be the outlier.
Yeah.
Like how many people are shaping weapons and using those shaped weapons, like to the point,
you have to reshape the Osteo Striga to get the damn catalyst on it. You have to.
Okay.
So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, I've shaped the glaive and I've shaped the one pulse rifle, the kinetic one that starts with an S.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I've made.
I thought you'd be reshaping the hell out of auto rifles, Barry.
You would assume I would have some to reshape, like the grind, even just to have a thing to play with. It's like, well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how many people have like one or two things they've shaped that they use, glaive notwithstanding, because again, glaive's the new hotness. But how many people are reshaping things and using them enough to unlock all the perks more than just like for a weapon or two?
Yeah, I hear
the
you.
fact that it's every weapon you have to, first grind to get the thing, grind to get it unlocked, and then grind to use it enough to get the good stuff on it. And in a world where random rolls still exist.
When I said I missed the D1 weapon leveling system, this is not what I had in mind. Just for clarification.
Right. Yeah. Like it's just weird that we live in a world of both. As Respawn says, why would land? Do both. Yeah. Well, we have both, and I'm going. Well, why do?
This is the exception to that rule. This is the exception. Please give us ore, Bungie, please.
Every rule has an exception, and we found this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, like, I appreciate that it's a thing. I'm excited to see where it goes, but yeah, it just feels it feels like an optional piece of the game right now. Like, yes, like I appreciate they at least go make this glaive so you know how it works.
Yeah, but for being optional, it's super grindy.
Well, right. Yeah. Well, right. Yeah. I'm asking, like, I've more or less treated it as I'm just going to grind and unlock materials, and then one day I'll have materials to play with. So when I get to that point, because it hasn't felt like a thing I needed to go do. I appreciate that they put the glaive behind Striga behind it, behind the go craft this thing. Yeah. So again, just reminding you, hey, this fancy table exists. We worked really hard on it to make it real pretty. Go use it.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's like, I think it'll be good. I'm excited to use it, but it just doesn't feel, it just doesn't feel baked yet. It feels like eventually it'll be there, but it's not there yet. And we totally called the whole, you have way too many materials. Let's get rid of 3/4 of these.
I mean, we're bound to get some things right eventually, right? 165 shows. Eventually, we're going to get something right.
Hey, even a stopped clock is right twice a day.
That's true. That is very true, sir.
And I was looking this week to say, surely we must have had like 3 hot fixes come through, and like they must have fixed like 9 more things, because it feels like every week they've been like, oh hey, the game will be point because we're fixing something else. But no, there is a hot fix coming, but I think we had a hot fix free week. The team was going, hey, we can breathe for a minute and then fix the next batch of what's next. And that's going to be our hotfix 4004 coming on Tuesday, March 22nd. And it's going to happen at reset, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 1600 UTC. Remember, friends, we're still a little bit off from each other, so your reset times may be wonky. You know what time they are in your time zone. I have faith in you. So 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 1600 UTC, and Aussies, it'll be the middle of the night, so you guys will be asleep, it'll be fine. Your maintenance begins 45 minutes later, they kick you offline. 15 minutes after that, they push the hotfix out, and then an hour after that, maintenance completes. So presumably, the game will be down for an hour, because it doesn't say, hey, you can log back on. But yeah, so maintenance will be back up and completed as of 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. You should be back on the game, unless it's down for longer, in which case it's down for longer.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yep. You should also suck up the fact that if you have not played the raid yet and not gotten your jacket, you would have needed to, I hate to break it to you, you would have needed to beaten the raid by now, because we're now 4 days past the limit. So if you have beaten the raid by March 15th at 10 a.m. Pacific time,
buy your jacket.
You do have until the end of the month to order your jacket through the Bungie store. So you have until March 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time to order your raid jacket. So don't wait until April, because you'll be sad and jacketless in the springtime.
Peroty, let me tell you this,
Present.
Bro. Listen to the gall of my wife. I went to order the jacket, right? And she sees I'm ordering the jacket. And she goes, "You already have one." I'm like, "Yeah, there's a different raid." She goes,
Did she then say you live in Florida and don't need it?
"Yes." But she also said, "Get it in my size." I'm like, "Huh?" She goes, "You've got one. You should get this in my size." I'm like, "I'm sorry. Did you run the raid?" You know?
But it would be adorable for you to have matching raid jackets.
It's not matching though. 2 different raids, 2 different jackets.
I mean, matching that you both have a raid jacket on. I mean, who else is out there with their significant other, rocking raid jackets? I think it'd be a great thing to do. You should do it for those 2 days a year that you need to have, a warm jacket, or for when you're traveling and she just misses you. I don't.
Look, best I can do is get 2 of the raid jackets, 1 in each size. Best I can do.
Well,
If Bungie will even let you do that.
Well, then clearly you should order 2 raid jackets, and then sometime by the time it's cold again, you'll have your raid jackets, and then you'll be all set.
And you know what? Even if I did order 2, that would still be cheaper than the one behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're good. So you should, before the end of March, order your second raid jacket and your first raid jacket, and then you should order some for your friends too, because
Nope.
after March you can't.
Nope. They buy their own. Sorry, buds. Sorry.
So if you haven't beaten the raid, too bad. If you haven't ordered a jacket, go forth and do that. Unfortunately, the Synaptic Fanatic Triumph may not be unlocked for some characters after unlocking 25 artifact mods. Log into your alternate character to complete this triumph if you haven't unlocked all the mods yet. They are investigating a fix, and we'll push the fix out once they have it. But if you've unlocked 25 artifact mods, first off, have you eaten today? have you properly hydrated? So someone check on these people just to make sure they're all right.
Right.
Yeah. So that's that.
Other
things. Yep. So other things. Don't run off to Xur thinking you're gonna get your sweet high stat rolled armor, because no, you're not. He's still broken. Bungie's still aware of it. He's still bringing the Fallout calls them doo-doo rolls. So the weapons are there. There's some nice weapons maybe, but don't get excited about your armor from Xur.
No.
They are continuing to investigate the increase in marmot errors. So if you or anyone you know has been affected by a marmot, Bungie is aware of it and they're looking into it. The Season 15 Pathfinder and Season 14 Lightkin armor sets are no longer available to equip as ornaments if previously unlocked via armor synthesis. So if you want to be a Pathfinder or look like a Fallen, you can't be until Bungie fixes it. The yellow color for subtitles on the PlayStation 5 either isn't noticeable or doesn't appear anymore and only shows white text.
Lovely.
I really appreciate it's either one or the other and we're not sure which.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to see yellow subtitles on PS5, no, you're not. Players who go flawless in trials aren't receiving their post-win rewards or weapons.
Oh, no.
So that would be enraging. Also, if you're trying to get your mementos in Trials of Osiris, mementos aren't dropping for players. I assume this does not mean all players, but some players, maybe all players. Hard to say. If you're not getting your mementos, not dropping. If you're trying to carry people through the Vow of the Disciple raid and getting credit for that, players aren't receiving credit for their Vow of the Disciple raid carries. Even though Bungie made a big deal about changing your Bungie name, saying, hey, you can change it, but it's a one-time change for now, at least. So make it good. And also, it still applies to our code of conduct. So make sure you're not going to be guardian something again. Some players apparently can't change their Bungie name. So if you want to, but you can't, Bungie's aware of it and looking into it. And the One of Us emblem doesn't appear in collections. It is not, in fact, One of Us.
One of us.
And that's our main issues for this week. And they're going to be fixing something in the hot fix. I assume it's the things they've mentioned here. Maybe it's hard to say. But there's these things broken. There's other things broken. You know where to go. Tell Bungie there are no issues at this point if you're seeing bugs or need to report them.
Yeah, what he said.
And now we've got movies. Beautiful movies.
And art.
And art. Are you sleeping, Demon?
No? Why?
I've just put him to sleep. That's all.
Yeah, no, because the way you said it, you're like, and it's like half in, half out kind of thing, dude. Okay.
He just says never forget the artwork.
Never forget the artwork. Okay. Yeah, good artwork.
We've got a beautiful 4K drown montage. we've got a moment to remember the Vow of the Disciple Day 1, which is always crazy and hectic. Rolk, I am so happy Rolk is in this game because the amount of beautiful artwork we're getting about our friend Rolk is wonderful. Because both pieces of art this week are about Rolk and the Witness, aka Megamind, texting each other, and then Rolk just smashing people. Which I again have to give Bungie credit for saying, "Oh, you're tired of the stomp mechanic? Great. How about we just punt you? Is punting good? How about a kick mechanic? Do you like that? Love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it."
And the thing about it is like he choreographs where he's gonna go. Kinda. Right? It's like he'll send, like in the very beginning, it feels like this is probably just my perception, but it feels like in the beginning he'll send out that wave where he's gonna go, and you have plenty of time to get the hell out the way. When it comes second phase and third phase, that wave is coming out at the same time he's moving towards it, and he's like, ah! It's scary, dude. He's terrifying, especially since there's a hunter who shall not be named that had low resilience who was getting constantly one shot by this guy.
How is being punted across the map not a one shot? Honestly,
Right?
for anyone, for any reason.
It's just crazy.
How does someone get kicked across the world and they'd be like, "No, I'm good.
I'm fine. It's totally fine. I'm good.
Walk it off. It's fine."
Alright, so respawn should put roundup.
And then before they go, they want us all to enjoy a bit of air. Again, take a breather, Nitedemon, take a drink. Make sure everything's good, and you know that you've got. And they've
got what? Sorry.
Yeah, what?
Make sure you've got your drink, you've got some food, you've eaten something, that you've gotten all.
Packages.
I'm sure you keep cutting out.
Yeah, he's basically trying to say make sure you got your drinks and food because it's time for Respawn's report roundup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the long and short of it. Okay, so I guess we're starting with parodies yesterday, right?
Sure.
Okay. DMG says, highly recommend you turn in Iron Banner tokens as you get them. If you wait until last minute, the final IMB week, feel free. If you want to wait until the last week, feel free. If you don't spend them or redeem bounties by the end of the season, they will be lost. Demon, stop hoarding.
You cannot tell me
AZ,
what to do.
stop hoarding. Parody, pretty sure you got a few hundred too. Stop hoarding.
1,000, sir. 1,000.
Stop hoarding! Spend
It's
them.
not hoarding, it's collecting.
Give me something to turn them in for, Bungie. Give me something desirable, and I'll turn.
High rolled armor, new weapons. I mean, do they not have an auto rifle this season? No, you can't keep them, T-Rex. They go away.
I don't know what I'm going to turn them in for. 4,000 or so sitting in my vault, and I've already turned in a couple
there no
hundred
Iron Banner
from
auto
this
rifle
week.
kit? Nothing that fulfills your quota? Really?
No, and although the Forge's Pledge has gotten better, the fast firing pulse rifles have never. I've liked them, but they've never been good. No, I understand, but those don't exist since there isn't. Or actually, no, there is one, and I can't remember the name of it because they haven't brought it back to us in a while.
Oh.
There is one, and I don't even remember the name of it because I never got a good roll on it. But like the Forge's Pledge pulse rifle, I do like. It's gotten better, I feel like, in recent seasons. It's still not great, but it's at least something to go for. And yeah, I guess the higher roll armor is something.
It's something.
It's not exciting.
I'm surprised there's no auto rifle. That I'm really shocked by that. I thought they'd have one.
I mean, they've got one, but it's been out of rotation for a while.
Yeah. Paul Tassi says, I have seen all of the stuff about Destiny music takedowns after inquiring have been pointed back to this messaging from earlier for the time being. No new updates from Bungie at this point. There's a link that sends us to a Twitter post that says, wanted to clarify our policies on using Destiny IP in creative creations. Although we've reserved the right to take down any unlicensed use of our IP, we won't generally issue takedown requests if content follows the guidelines laid out in this link, which sends us to another place, which is intellectual property rules. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I saw AZ had pointed out that, some things he had saved on YouTube that were soundtrack stuff is gone. I've seen some other people saying, hey, the things that were good. I mean, even, again, My Name is Bife's Big Dynasty project wasn't originally, copyright struck and taken down or muted or whatever, demonetized something, and he had worked with Bungie specifically on it. So clearly there's something.
Did they strike him? on that video?
Well, I don't know if they struck him or took him down. They took action on it, and he's like, obviously we're working with Bungie on this. Yeah.
It's like you guys were there,
right? Yeah, but you said I could. Yeah, so clearly there's something going on. Some people have sort of theorized that with again Bungie being part of Sony now, and maybe they're going to go after sort of like some of the unlicensed music so they can launch their own like official music thing. I guess like some other games have launched with like official music sources so they can monetize their own stuff on YouTube. So maybe that's where this is going, or it's just somebody's bot got a little too excited about, going, oh, hey, we're going to target everything Destiny related. So yeah, just, just like everything else, it's at Bungie, and now Sony's whims and whatever automated bot is doing YouTube trolling for the day to grab things. We all live in the world where we serve at the pleasure of Bungie. That's the long and short of it. So I've seen a lot of people talking about it. I actually thought
it was Sony related, because this happens right after the whole Sony buys them announcement. I'm like,
yeah, it's happened before too. Like there've been a couple ways where things have been taken down or struck, or I guess struck is the wrong word. I don't remember what everything in YouTube parlance means. I don't think they're being like copyright struck. I think it's just being removed or muted or whatever, or saying, hey, this is our stuff, you can't use it. But yeah, so I guess there's, again, no hard and fast rules. It's Bungie's going to Bungie and Sony's going to Sony, and we'll see how it plays out.
Okay. For those of you that want to play Gambit, apparently Ariana is one-shotting body shot Guardians. And that's not going to be fixed until Tuesday. So, anyway, DMG says some weapons are doing more damage than intended against opponents in Gambit. Team is jamming on a fix, targeting next Tuesday. Stay tuned for patch notes. This is replying to Austin D. Bram, who says, is Gambit meant to be in this state? Is Ariana one-shot body shotting intentionally? There are lots of going on, but it's been a week. Can we know if this is by design or a bug? I did notice I was getting one shot, and people were telling me, oh, no, you had to have been injured first. I'm like, I don't think I was. But turns out I wasn't just crazy. I mean, I am crazy, but I wasn't crazy regarding that.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy in that regard.
Yeah.
There drifters up to something.
Right. Bug fix being next Tuesday. Stay tuned for patch notes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. A couple of things we're tracking with trials. Reports that trials mementos are not dropping. Reports that post. Okay, you said that. This one. This tweet might include sensitive content. I can't see the tweet. Cosmos replying to it that says, we're aware of an inappropriate image briefly appearing in the new raid. This was entirely unintentional and is the result of multiple effects stacking up in such a way that the shape can appear in rare circumstances. The team is working to remove it in the 322 fix. We deeply regret any distress or offense this has caused our players and our team and are working to correct it immediately. Is this the vagina statue? Or is this something else?
I was just going to sort of assume it was a swastika that got stuck.
Is it?
People were seeing, and I don't know. You're seeing this for the first time, like I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know. But I know there have been issues in the past about Bungie sticking decorations on armor that either looked like close enough like swastikas and things that people were not pleased with. Yeah,
because I know in the
Crucible
part, not the Crucible. I call it the Crucible because you're running straight through and doing a bunch of shit real quick. But we got to pick up all the different items and use them to shield each other and to pop shields and this and that and the other. Oh. There's a statue that looks exactly like a female vagina, and it's been pointed out many times. And I assume that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, no, in this case, there's a shape that looks a lot like a swastika. When viewed, I guess it looks like it's one of those. I don't know if it's one of those stacking things or just I don't know. I don't know where it is in the array, but yeah, there's a shape that looks very much like a swastika. So
fair enough. Apparently, as a Titan, you can look like Kaido.
So you can try to win her affection over from Lord Saladin.
Who apparently directly challenge her to a fashion game.
That's true. Yeah, the tusked helmet and things. I got. If you don't want to be a Fallen, maybe you can be a Cabal.
True. Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, and Forsaken leaving PC Game Pass on April 11th. So, go out there and buy it. because it's leaving April 11th.
So look for a sale that maybe they're going to have between now and April 11th.
If they don't already have one.
Yep.
New The Witch Queen Collector's Edition has been re-released and is now in stock on Bungie Store websites. For those of you that wanted a ghost, there you go. And there's a link down here at the bottom for it.
Is it already sold out by now? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Update. Looks like players can now claim the Galactic Magpie emblem from Bungie Rewards without any error messages. Huzzah! Looks like the VOTD carries emblem on Bungie Rewards has been updated and requires just rate completion. However, when claiming a chosen error saying please update your email preference, that's what it's referring to. Bam. Destiny Bulletin says Bungie is looking to expand Destiny 2's game universe in new and exciting ways. We're building new branches of the Destiny world for players to share, experience with love and competitive games. And this is replying to Destiny's senior concept artist hiring positions are available. So, if you want to work for Destiny, you want to extend the game world, go apply.
Yeah, they're hiring for all the things. All the things, so.
And Destiny 2's general manager Justin Truman on content vaulting for Beyond Light and the Witch Queen. It's hard to tell what the story will look like 4 years from now. On whether fans should expect a 2020 expansion Beyond Light or 2022's Witch Queen to someday be vaulted as well, I don't know, Truman says. That is how we are currently managing the technical complexity.
Yeah. Game gets too big to move part of game.
What's happening in the future? I don't know. What's going to the vault? I don't know. What storyline's coming up next? I don't know.
Something. What's going on in the future? New story. What's going on with the old stuff? Eventually it'll be removed or reworked. Whenever it happens. When you invent time travel, then you can go and figure it out and come back and tell us. Until then, later.
Dun, 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 dun. But he says increased storage options, not vault, maybe it is vault, including the cloud, could remove one need to vault. Through development and platform restrictions could still be an issue. Though development and platform restrictions could still be an issue. It's hard to tell what the story will look like 4 years from now. Yeah. So, Destiny, you're talking about vaulting content. Can you do something with our vault? I mean, you did increase the size up to 500 once upon a time. I'm just saying.
I would really like to put more. I would like to vault personally. I would like to put the content in the vault, and then pull it out of the vault periodically. You could call it the Guardian Content Vault, the GCV. Oh, yeah. I would like to have more of it, please.
Or, hear me out, right? Have a 500 space vault for legendary weapons. 500 space vault for armor, right?
Break them down.
Yeah. 500 for weapons, 500 for armor. Possibly a separate vault for exotics that you don't want to have to keep throwing away and getting back out again because you're running out of vault space. I don't know. Whatever. Just saying.
And exotics, I really wish we could just like put in cold storage, because except for the randomly rolled ones, who cares? There's I mean now I say that as someone with a whole bunch of exotics in my vault because I'm lazy, but it's like really I could pull you out and other than having to reinfuse you light level, I guess that's the only real reason now is light level kill trackers and the few randomly rolled ones we have. Other than that, they're just in the vault taking up space. So I'm like, might one day want this. Now I'm sure Nitedemon has 6 versions of everything that he keeps, but
no.
The reason they don't do that is because they don't want you to be able to pull it out. Let's say you're missing an energy weapon that's low. Well, they don't want you to be able to pull out an at-light energy exotic and feed into that.
Because then we're power creeped all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
However, if you could put in a mechanic that you can pull out an exotic that is matching the highest light in that slot, right? You're not power creeping.
Yeah, or just what we've said before, just give me a way to put these on the shelf, or again, just different versions of give us more vault space if you're not going to give us more vault space.
First of all, if you put a bag of holding in a bag of holding, you destroy the area around it. You can't do that, T-Rex. Stop it.
We did that once with the first tower. It didn't go great.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, T-Rex is like, can we put our vault in a vault and have more space? No, that ends the universe. Stop it. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, here. Bungie describes the exorcism mission from Season of the Lost as a Destiny version of a live event. There
What's
you
the
go.
exorcism mission?
I have no idea.
That was the end of last season, the one that Respawn missed out on.
Oh, that's what that is.
You
Yeah,
missed out on the live event, the whole week long live event. You missed out on.
I did. I sure did.
I'm not sure I ever got that through that unbugged, but yeah, okay, that's the one.
So Bungie on the future of Destiny 2 and why there won't be a Destiny 3. We want it to be a single evolving world, Justin Truman tells. We're trying to make a Disneyland, right? And you don't build a Disneyland 2. They did, actually. They have one in Florida, and they have one in California, and they have one in Japan, I think.
And Paris.
And Paris. So there's actually 4 Disneylands, Bungie, but I get your point. You update it and improve it and make it more modern.
Sorry, can we go back a second?
Uh-huh.
So, if you build Disneyland, you build a Destiny, you don't put a 2 on the end of it then?
I guess.
I'm confused.
Because there is 2.
Yeah,
This whole analogy is wrong.
well, there wouldn't be a 2 without Activision. The 2 clearly coming from Activision saying build us a sequel. So I think in his mind, Destiny is just Destiny 1, period, full stop. There is no Destiny 2. It is all one Destiny. We don't talk about the original first Destiny. It's dead. Shh. But yeah.
But what they have on the drawing board is Witch Queen, which is now, Lightfall, which is next, and there's a pyramid shape in front of the Traveler, and then the final shape.
While you eat.
I'm sorry, hold on.
ASMR.
So
that's all that is.
they have. I didn't know you could hear the chewing part.
I can't hear the chewing part. I can just tell your mouth is full of food.
Like a chipmunk.
So right now you have the Witch Queen. After that you have Lightfall, which is a pyramid ship in front of the Traveler. After that you have the final shape, just a bland background.
Which is a PS5.
And beyond. So that's what they have on the drawing board for the future of Destiny 2, because there won't be a Destiny 3, because there's no such thing as putting a 2 at the end of a Disneyland, even though there's 4 Disneylands and 2 Destinies, and I don't know where I'm going with this. My head hurts.
So basically, it's a bit like Warcraft. Is that World of Warcraft?
Wow. Yeah.
So it's just ever evolving, basically.
So what I took out of this is their communication about this is just as clear as all of their communications, and that we're all a little bit more confused than when we started.
Except there's not a Disneyland 2. We know that.
No, there's 4.
No, they're just called Disneyland. Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Tokyo, I guess.
Disney World.
Disney World, yeah. They just changed what.
And Disneyland.
Destiny, the ever evolving.
Destiny : the TV show, Destiny : the movie, Destiny : the movie.
Look, y'all are joking about that. I would love a TV show or a movie, right? Because listen,
that's exactly what they're making.
I know, but okay. So a recent example, right, would be League of Legends. I don't know. A lot of people have heard of it. Not a lot of people have played it, right? League of Legends recently came out with an anime, and I was skeptical at first, and then I watched it. And I was angry. And I was like, this anime has no right being as good as it is.
Everything.
You know? It was so good, you know?
went through the full spectrum of Respawn emotions there.
Yeah.
Truly.
But, like, I was looking forward to it, and I was thinking, oh, it's going to be okay or whatever. It's amazing. Now, it doesn't really follow the lore of Jinx and Vi, but even so, it's
Those are words.
amazing, you know?
Is that the one they put out on Netflix?
Yes. If you
Okay.
haven't seen it, I recommend it. Even if you don't like League of Legends, I don't care. It's completely separate from League of Legends, even as far as the lore goes. It's just a good damn anime.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is like, is it something you could enjoy just as a thing to watch as an animated TV show?
Yes.
If
absolutely,
you are aware
yes.
of League of Legends as a thing, but know basically nothing about it.
You don't even have to know what League of Legends is. That's the great part. I mean, if you know what it is, as they introduce these characters, like, oh, hey, there's Jace, there's Vi, there's Jinx, and yada, 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 right? And in game, you know that Jinx and Vi are always trying to catch each other, and there's a special in-game reward if you do it, whatever, right? But you don't have to know that stuff. The anime is good because it's an anime. And I'm looking forward to something similar with Bungie. Now, I hope they stick with lore. Fair enough, right?
And not do what Halo's doing and saying, we're going to make this thing, but we're going to ignore the fact that Halo is a gaming.
I didn't know that. You talking about the new Halo movie coming out?
The Halo TV show?
TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The showrunner has gotten some grief by basically saying, we didn't want to be limited by Halo as a game. And we're going, sir, do you know how games work?
Yeah. Master Chief gets killed off in the first episode. Now some SJW takes on the role for the rest of the TV series. Anyway, that's it for the Respawn's Report Roundup. Do we have any questions and or feedback? I thought we did, but now I'm looking in there and I don't see it.
It was everybody telling you were wrong. And
Huh?
You cut out, Peroty.
I said, was everybody telling you Respawn he was wrong, but we've already addressed.
No, something about his wife or something.
Deacon got some feedback this week, but
yeah,
she I believe has already addressed that. She has taken right to Twitter to address her feedback.
So she has replied to Mark Blankley, who says at 2 Titans and a Hunter and at Deacon 1606, I cannot listen to the podcast any longer. I can't stand how Deacon just talks over and down on everything. I'm trying to hear what to do next week. She has replied to him.
She has.
And she has also replied to Blink, which says, ha, this is hilarious.
Probably.
Okay.
So Nitedemon, you've teased about your tips, tricks, builds, and guides. Do we have any good news for the people this week? Any things they should be doing?
Do. I've got some really cool
Respawn is needing some not to poke fun, but Respawn needing some Titan builds. So, this is where we remind you that plunder the booty, all one word, has builds for everyone, and they are Void 3.0 builds that just synergize beautifully with what do you want to do, what do you want to lean into, murder everything. Oh, here you go, all for you.
This week, I watched a lot of videos because I wasn't able to play. So Abiel put out a really good one this week. Again, going over what we know with Destiny Item Manager and the DestinyRecipes.com with flat stats. Now, there are ways that you can work out how to get your armor into flat stats across literally every single ability regen. So you're not wasting any points in any stat distribution. And Abiel has got this really fantastic guide for you. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's worth a watch. She goes through a hunter just to show you what you can do with how you put your loadouts out. So worth a watch for you hunters out there. As I mentioned, Cool Guy has 2 videos this week going over the 2 gauntlets that are available. The Renewed Grasp for the hunter goes over why you want to pick those up and why they're really good in PvP and PvE, and the Osmancy Warlock gauntlets as well, and builds for those and what you want to kind of be looking out for them. Really good. So check those out. So as I said, Monday, I believe, was the gauntlets that are coming up in the Lost Sector. So if you haven't got these on your characters from finishing the campaign, go and do your Lost Sector and see if you can get a good stat distribution on them. Cheese Forever has a solo fast Vox Obscura pinnacle milestone. So with this was in the Vox Obscura mission, you have to kill champions, and each champion progresses you something like 3%. Now, he's in the name, he's got a cheese for you for getting this done really quickly without even kind of completing the mission. So if you want to have a look at doing that, check that out. That'll give you a pinnacle reward, so high stat engram. Ibontis has the Risen War Table guide, so it just goes over maybe what you want to be using your energies focusing this season and how to do it, and what you want to kind of focus on first using your what you get from the challenges. The I can't remember what they're called now. The focusing stuff, the insight. Sorry, that's what it's called. So what you want to kind of where you want to start using your insights to upgrade your table. Then we have, because we've got the challenges coming up with the raid this coming week, Sneaky Beaver has gone ahead and done the 4 guides for the 4 different encounters for the Vow the Disciple. So we've got Glyph to Glyph, Handle with Care, On My Go, Symmetrical Energy. Those guides, he's already kind of put a rough a rough guide together for each of those, and I'll list them in the show notes, and then in the following weeks I'll drop them into the Throne World guides. But check those out if you're going to be going and doing the challenges, because it gives you a rough overview of what each one is going to be and what you'll be required to do. Funny one this week, Froggy 618157725 has got the Val the Disciple visiting Zeta, the nurturing worm. So this would be one for you, Arf. If you want to go and visit the worm in the raids, you can go and visit it.
Yeah, and go say hi. Yeah,
Go say
that
hi.
was a fun watch because ever since I saw that unending thing in the worm, I was like, I'd like a closer view, and sure enough, here is your closer view.
Yeah, not official, but you can do it, as Froggy says. Now, I saw one guide this week, which was from Jarv, which went over how to get the Imperious Sun exotic ghost shell from the raid. But there is another way of actually doing it, and it's just doing it through, I can't remember the name of that mission. What was it? Respawn the Preservation mission?
Preservation, yeah.
Okay, so Cheese Forever has got a guide for you that you can actually get the raid ghost shell from just playing that mission, and you use the same techniques that you would in the raid, but it gives you, it's like, there's a room of symbols that you can either punch or shoot as you run through to do that mission.
Yeah.
If you go and jump through the wall and look at the sequence that you have to do, it will then give you the lore pages, and then at the end of that mission there are tablets. There's 5 tablets after you've defeated the Scorn that you can go around and listen to get the other 5 pages. So you literally
not tablets, they're pedestals where you could put a worm and then you can interact with it, and then some guy starts talking to you. Yeah,
Rolk starts talking to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can do that. You can get the raid ghost shell without actually having stepped foot in the raid. Just do that mission, which is quite cool. So Cheese has got a video on that. As I said, 360 Gaming has got the Impress the Emperor guide for that triumph, if you want to see how to do that.
Question.
Now, yes.
So, Plunder the Booty has this Titan build, which just does all kinds of damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Cactus HD has this near constant 70% damage resistance build.
Is this the one that you put in the show notes, which is Never Die Invincible Titan build?
This insane Titan build makes Destiny 2 players, yada, 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 yada. Probably. It might be by a different name. Probably the same thing, 2 different people.
No, it was Kakis that you put it in the show notes. So I was going to ask you to explain that, because I've put it in the listings for people to check out this week.
So basically, you have to use a few mods, including, believe it or not, a stasis mod. And what's going to happen is, once you get the whole build working, which I didn't watch the whole thing because I don't have all the pieces, which is why I'm asking you, because if I have to invest a lot of time putting a build together, which would be better? But yeah, ultimately, you have 70% damage resistance like 90% of the time on a Titan. So, on a Void Titan.
Is that for the Kakis one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds quite good.
It sounds
and the
good.
other videos that you put in there, you put the As Across What We Know About Alacrity.
Yeah.
So what was that one about?
I gotta go back and look. That was like 2 weeks ago, dude. Where did I put that? Show notes.
Yeah, is alacrity a thing I should care about? Because right now I don't really.
Alacrity is a weapon. You won't care about it. No, I put for you. I put the Sweet Sorrow God roll because that was an auto rifle, because I figured you'd like that. I don't know. It's not in show notes.
Is this the weapon trait that's actually bugged at the moment? Is that what the video's about?
Which one? The Alacrity?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you're right. It is about the bug. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he goes over all the different locations to get guaranteed high stat armor. Right? So for all of you that are still wondering where do I go to get guaranteed high stats, he goes over that for you. So that's by itself is pretty good information, right? And on top of that, he tells you, like, for example, on a Warlock, right? He tells you to just look for armors that have the lowest possible stats in intelligence and in something else. Can't remember. But yeah, he tells you look for these rolls, the absolute lowest, and high rolls and everything else, right? Because intelligence doesn't matter for reasons X, Y, Z. He tells you intellect. Sorry, Doesn't matter for reasons XYZ, because now instead of it going off the timer in Destiny 2, now you getting your super back is based on damage and kills instead of a timer per se. So you can have basically 0 intellect and still get your super back much, much faster than the timer suggests you're going to get it back. And yeah, he just tells you what to look for these armors, where to find these armors, how to build the armors. He goes through the Destiny D2 armor picker, how that works, and how that helps you get max stats in 3 or 4 stats. And yeah, that's basically about it. Now, the thing that I don't like, and I will say this up front, is he's using the new Void 3.0 mods that give you bonuses and a lot of stats, right?
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be the best for your build, because some of these, like the hunter ones, you want, even though it subtracts -10 to 2 of your stats, it gives you really, really good bonuses that make your build phenomenal, right? Which is why you can stay invis constantly, which is why you can heal on melee kill, which is why you can do all these other things, right? Because some of these have negative armor rolls. So this is just how to get 3 or 4 stats up to 100, but it might not necessarily be good for a build. So there is that disclaimer, right? So
you'll have good numbers, but it'll suck.
You'll have very impressive numbers, but you might not have a great build. You know, at least with the Void, you know. But yeah, I mean, even if you don't have max 400s, let's say you go for the build that you want. Well, now maybe you're missing 10 here or 20 here. Having, 100 and 2 or 3 stats and 80s or 90s and 2 more stats is still very impressive, while also still having the build that you want, So get the armor pieces that he's telling you to get, and then build the build that you want with these armor pieces, and you should still have at least 4 stats above 80. Which is pretty impressive.
Cool. Okay. So that's the tips, tricks, guides, and builds for this week. And don't forget to check our show notes, because we do have all the other ones from the Throne World that are available, like the raid guides. We've got the Lucent Moss. I've got weeks 1 to 4 in there from 360 Game TV. Solo legendary missions from Ebontis. We've got the Darkness Rift locations, the Vox Obscura mission, if you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
So anything...
You got the choose forever version of that too?
Yeah, lots of cheeses.
No, for the Vox Obscura specifically.
Yeah, I've got... Well, that's in the show notes for this week, the
okay.
tips, tricks, and then I'll put it in the Throne World stuff. And then once we start getting the Grandmasters, I'll start doing some Grandmaster guides, gathering, and put them in our show notes. So yeah, that's all those things.
Yeah. The Vox Obscura, although it can be done solo, because I had to, it also took me 3 hours to do it. Don't recommend. And then I saw Cheese's video. I'm like, wait, you don't actually have to kill all those guys? So watch Cheese's video, and it's good for both the regular mode and the harder version of it. So do that before you solo it, or before you do it. It's going to save you time, pain, just stress.
No.
or beat your head against that wall. There's 2 things I wanted to drop in real quick. One I've watched and one I've just now seen, but I'm excited to try out. One is Evade has your Destiny 2 Season of the Risen movie, all cutscenes and dialogue. So if you miss something, or if you, like me, sort of at least like to watch the seasonal movie as a movie, he has put all those together. It does not decay about 47 minutes, but it'll give you an idea of what's going on, especially if you're with people who skip every cutscene and you want to see them. There they are. And Hater the One has just put out, like as of I think today or yesterday, the 1.7 million damage melee build, Best Void Titan build. And I see Syntheseps in there, and Worm God's Caress, and Helm of Inmost Light. So haven't watched this one because I just saw it.
There, bud.
Right, but I'm sure you can do it one of these 3 ways. Because Syntheseps and Worm God both boost your punching ability, and I think that's the Helm of Inmost Light. I can't remember which one that one looks like. But either way, if you can punch something for a million plus damage, I'm into it. So
I'm surprised Bungie hasn't nerfed that yet. When Hunters could do it with the 1-2 punch build, they nerfed that pretty quick.
Well, I mean, it depends where you can use it. I haven't watched it to see where you can use it, and if you're
Did you post
if
it?
you're killing. I stuck it into the show notes channel.
Okay.
So yeah, haven't watched yet, but I'm excited to watch it because I love punching things, and it goes well with my punch things, get over shield, weaken things, suppress things, and be all the Titan I can be as a Void Titan.
Cool.
And then I think we got there. So I think this is now where we say thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty, Nitedemon, or no one responds. Your lore scribe is not ARF. You can email the show. Oh, dear microphone, I'm going to replace you. You've been good to me, but you're old and you like to cut out at inopportune times. So
and yet we heard every second of that.
Right,
Yeah.
right, because it's like I'm not going to cut out when it's good for you,
right?
Thank you, microphone. Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you, live stream listeners, for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty, Nitedemon, and no one responds in real life. Your lore scribe is not ARF. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. We're on Twitter still at twotitans_hunter. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as Two Titans and a Hunter, even though the branding's a little out of date, but we'll get to that. Find all your favorite Guardians online, everywhere you want to be, because it's all one big, beautiful Destiny world. Listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. And if you see Reesor online, give him your best Titan tips. And if you see me online, explain to me the basics of playing this game, because I swear I forget more than I ever remember every week we do this. And if you see Nitedemon online, just say, good job, buddy. I hope you've had a wonderful week. And thank you for watching all the videos so I don't have to. And with that, gents, tell the people what you want to tell them. And we'll be back on this next week with more Destiny.
Deuces.
Titans ho.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.